right, let's go ahead and start.
All right, cool. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, what's going on? And welcome to episode 248 of the KBMOD podcast. It is August 28th, 2016. And guys, August is almost over. We're going to see September in the next 3 days. What happened? Does anybody feel like this year has flown by? Is it just me?
I feel that way, but I feel that way almost, I don't know, just every time I think about time now.
Yeah,
like,
I guess.
It was just this event just happened, or it was just Christmas. I feel like that's just part of getting older, is that time just sinks, and you don't think about time in small chunks anymore. You only think about it in large, sweeping chunks.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably what it is. I don't know. I just feel like this last year is just. I felt like it just was like January 1st, 2016, and now we're in August. But anyway, how's everybody doing?
We can't conclusively prove that time isn't moving faster. It might be moving faster.
That's a good point.
I haven't done the research.
Yeah. Katie.
Huh?
Anything to add? Oh, okay. I thought you were about to say a study that you had been doing on time.
Oh, yeah, I've been taking notes. It seems to move at a fixed rate.
Actually, when we talk about Dark Souls, though, time slows down.
Oh, true. Okay. That is Katie Zen's way of basically manipulating time, like Keanu Reeves in The Matrix, is when he brings up Dark Souls and everything.
So I played Hyperlight Drifter.
Or that.
It's great.
Katie and Dark Souls, or Blacklight Attack and Pokemon, or whatever.
Blacklight Attack and fighting games.
Yeah, or Blacklight and Final Fantasy. That's a good one.
Yeah. All right. Well, time stuff aside, how's everybody's week been? Anything of note? Anything exciting? Brandon, you told me in the pre-show that you had a lobster story for me, so I'm intrigued.
Well, it's like part of. It's just part of the overall story. So I'll go first about what I've been doing and playing, because what I've been playing is blackjack, and what I've been doing is playing blackjack in Las Vegas.
Yes.
Did you come away positive?
I did not, but I didn't actually play that much. I was there for 3 nights. And so I usually keep myself to some amount that I'm willing to lose. And so I think I lost like $400 or something. But out of that $400, I think I probably played, it must have been like 15 hours, like maybe 15 to 18 hours of blackjack. So, I don't really think I lost, because I don't go there to win. I go there to basically, like, if I break even and I sit there and have drinks and enjoy myself for, 6 hours, like that's very much winning in my mind.
You go there for the love of the game, the thrill of it.
Yeah, and just to like hang out with. Blackjack's like the best game to just sit at the table and play with your friends, because you're all just kind of having a good time and having drinks and stuff. You don't have to focus that much. Like, the dealer will do most of the work for you. So it's a fun game to sit around and enjoy. So I played quite a bit of that, but did not play anything else. So this is the entirety of my what have I been playing. But so we were on the Strip, and we had dinner and lunch at some different places, and one of the places I went, I had not been to before, and so it must have been new, or maybe I just happened to miss it the other times I was there. It's near Planet Hollywood. It's in a place called the Miracle Mile Shops. It's like a bunch of shops, and there's like kind of a food court and stuff. It is like a fast food type lobster joint.
Okay. I'm already intrigued, because I've never seen anything like that.
It's called the place. I think the place was called.
Something I want to avoid. But
No. See, you might think that, but I basically just mean fast food in, like, it's not a sit down restaurant type place that specializes in lobster. It's kind of, I would equate it to like a lobster food truck. It's you get the food quickly and then you go sit down. Like, you would find it in a food court, but it's still just lobster dishes. And so they had an item called the lobsicle, which is just basically kind of it's like a lobster corn dog almost. But it's not wrapped in corn like cornbread, but it's just a piece of like grilled or fried lobster on a stick, and they give you a little thing of drawn butter, and so you could have that. They had lobster mac and cheese. They had various lobster
classic.
rolls. It was amazing.
goodness.
It was amazing, and it actually led me to think, why don't more places specialize in lobster? Because like some places will specialize in grilled cheese, or they'll specialize in shakes, or whatever it is, right? But no one specializes in lobster, except maybe.
Why not a lobster grill cheese steak?
That's what I'm talking about. Like,
Is that where you're going with that?
I'm saying, like, why not stake your claim as a restaurant on lobster being being the thing that you do everything with, like a lobster. I mean, you just said lobster grilled cheese, and I'm like, that sounds unbelievable.
That does sound really good.
So it was not cheap. It was definitely
What was the name?
pricey.
Did you say the name? Sorry, if
It's
I
called.
missed it.
It was. I think the name was just Lobster Me.
Lobster Me.
As if it was a verb. Like, hey Scott, lobster me.
Okay.
So yeah, I had
That's
I had lobster mac and cheese. I had a Cajun lobster roll. It was so good.
Sounds delicious.
Yeah.
You know who I heard started serving lobster?
No.
McDonald's.
No, they didn't.
No, they didn't.
No, I'm for real. I'm for
Really?
real.
But see that? Okay, I mean, like, that's the thing. I would try lobster at McDonald's. Like, I would give it a shot. But you don't see lobster really in any fast food place, and I'm sure that's because it's pretty expensive. But I figure, like, especially I guess it could work in Las Vegas. I think it could work in either San Francisco or New York, like places where people are used to paying more for food anyway.
Yeah.
I feel like you could make a lobster shop happen.
We need to see lobster and Cheetos come to Burger King next month.
See that, like, you're joking, but I would order that.
know.
I would absolutely order that.
See, well, we're starting to get into I don't know why, but we're getting into that whole when seafood and fast food kind of thing. Because I mean, again, I guess I would try it. But I guess certain things like
There's definitely a difference between McDonald's doing lobster and a kind of a fast food place that has lobster in the name. Because like there's definitely a difference in the lobster that you would expect to get from, say, Long John Silver's versus a place that's called Lobster Me, where you're like, oh, that's literally all they do.
Right.
So
They
it's
do
probably
lobster.
pretty good.
Sure. Exactly. Because I mean, can we talk about real quick now that we're on Burger King? But have you seen I mean, again, I'm not anti Burger King. I like me a Whopper. I'll eat a Whopper. They have some okay stuff.
Yeah.
Have you seen the fucking Whopper burrito monstrosity that they have? That they've come out with? You haven't seen the commercial? Oh my! Oh, I guess you guys probably don't have cable or watch TV.
Oh,
have you?
I think I've
seen
heard
that.
it like brought up. What is
I mean,
it?
I'm not even saying that. Like, it may be tasty, but it's just so, like, I don't know how that got through. There's no way there's many people ordering the Whopper burrito. Like, anyway, I'm gonna link it in here. But since we're on the topic,
is it called the Whopperito?
Is it the Whopperito? Let me see.
It's got to be.
sure
I mean,
it is.
how would it not be?
It's
called
the
that?
Whopperito. Yes,
Okay,
sorry,
yeah.
it's the Whopperito.
I
Yeah,
think
you're
I've heard about it, but I have not tried one because I don't frequent Burger King, and I actually think I missed out on the mac and Cheetos train because I think that seems to already be gone. I'm kind of sad about that.
So, I mean, again, all of the stuff in it doesn't necessarily sound terrible, but it's just that same thing. It's like, I'm not comfortable. Like, Burger King, the name, it's Burger King, okay? It's not like, I understand they're trying to, like, just kind of appeal. I don't know. Who knows what exactly this market's for? Maybe it's just supposed to be wonky. But the Whopperito.
This is just some way to get people fat.
Well, I mean,
Like,
of course. But I'm just linking it in chat. It's stuffed with creamy queso, pickles, diced onions, tomatoes, and crisp lettuce, all wrapped in a warm flour tortilla with clearly like a Whopper patty that's been ripped, like cut up and into chunks and then rolled. But I'm just like, what's the reason?
Is that even a Whopper anymore? It's because beef is in a burrito anyway.
I think what they're like, the play seems to
Lower
be
carb.
The play seems to be just fast food restaurants encroaching on other fast food restaurants' turf.
Yeah,
because
exactly,
like, why would I get a Whopperito when I could just go to Taco Bell? Right? Like, is there a chance that the Whopperito is better than anything I get at Taco Bell? Because I'm clearly throwing health out the window. If I'm
Well,
ordering
exactly.
a
You're
Whopperito,
not-
Yeah.
I do not care about the health benefits or the calorie count.
No, exactly. No, that's totally true. So don't give me the low cal argument. So anyway, I don't know. For me, I'm not saying like this could still, you could get this and it could be, I mean, it has all the ingredients to be delicious. I'm not saying that it's probably, I'm sure it's serviceable, but it's very off putting. I don't know. It was like, I just saw the advertisement and instantly I was just like, there's nothing inside of me that makes me want to order that.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think because it's from Burger King.
Yeah.
And it's just, it's not even like the only thing that remotely makes it, I guess, well, like you said, trying to encroach on any other territory is that it has creamy queso. But all of the other ingredients are just basic burger, ingredients like pickles, onions, tomatoes, lettuce. There's nothing. Anyway,
I mean,
sorry to get off
you
topic.
could probably get queso in something at Taco Bell too. If you ask for queso in your burrito, they'll probably maybe look at you funny,
yeah.
but they'll still do it.
Oh yeah, they'll do whatever. I mean, I think they have. I'm trying to remember. I don't know. But Taco Bell is constantly, anyway, they're constantly having stuff like that. So I don't know. It's just odd.
Well,
If they make
anyway.
the angry Whopperito. But anyway, yeah, I agree with you. I'm down with you on the lobster stuff,
Like
man. More lobster
I really
options.
I feel like a lobster, kind of a fast, and I say fast food in that like you don't necessarily sit down, but I think that a lobster place that's just like kind of quick to go kind of stuff would probably do really well in a big city where people are like stopping by for lunch or something. Because like there are some places like that in San Francisco where there's not really a sit down place. You just order, and grab your food and go.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like a lobster place would clean up. So anyway, that was like one of the highlights of my trip, is just finding this lobster place that was really, really delicious. And losing money at blackjack.
Yeah. Well, you don't sound like like you said, you weren't up, but you didn't, you have the right, it seems like you have the right mindset, which very few people I would feel like do going into Vegas. You're probably, you're one of the rare ones where it's just like, it'd be nice to win, but I like playing the game. I get entertainment for the amount of time I spend.
Right, and it's not hard for me to. It's if I get a few hours out of my buy-in, like it's not hard for me to just say, well, I'm done now. I don't have to. Some people, like someone we had recently on the podcast, our friend Eric Flom, may have shown me a magic trick while I was in Vegas.
Really?
He did. And so the details of the trick were something like this. He goes to an ATM. And it gives him money. I don't know. I mean, I don't know whose money it was. Maybe his money, maybe someone else's. Goes to an ATM, has a big pile of cash, and then makes it disappear.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa. Wow. Okay.
It was
I didn't
pretty
realize
wild.
Eric was a magician.
It was wild.
What was he making it? What was the method of which the disappearance happened? Was it blackjack or was it something else? Or you don't even know? It just disappeared.
I mean,
A magician doesn't reveal their secrets.
That's true.
Yeah, it happened. It happened so quickly that it's hard for me to say. But I was sitting at the blackjack table. I think he was sitting at the blackjack table. But his hands were moving so quickly. Like it's really all. It's up to interpretation, frankly.
Wow, I'm gonna have to ask him about that next time I'm on Discord with him. I'll say, hey, Brandon told me he did a magic trick, and then I'm gonna describe it exactly like that and see what he says. It's gonna be perfect.
But no,
All
I
right,
had
well,
a pretty good time. It was fun, and we got back today, and Twitch had like a little summer picnic thing today. So I was actually racing to get back here on time. So it's been a busy week, but I played 0 games. I didn't even get to the Hearthstone, the new wing of the Hearthstone expansion.
No
I'm way
Pokemon?
behind. Oh, I mean, yeah, no, I did play Pokemon, but that's, nothing new to report there. There's actually a bunch of Pokemon in Vegas. Caught a bunch of like Growlithe and Geodudes and other stuff that I guess you'd expect to find in hot places. So that was fun.
Okay. All right. Well, there you go. Well, I mean, like you said, you play blackjack in Vegas. I mean, that's I think that makes up for being like, I wasn't really able to play any other games.
I was playing tabletop games,
Yeah, exactly. Very cool. All right. Katie, what about you? I mean, if you had anything happen exciting during the week, feel free, and also tell me what you've been playing as well.
Nothing noteworthy as far as real life stuff. I've been playing a lot. I've been watching Daredevil season 2. I finally got around to that. That is just consistently fantastic.
Do you like it?
About
do you
as
like it as
good
much
as,
as season 1?
I was just about to say, I think it's about equal,
Really?
honestly.
Okay.
Yeah, they both. I mean, with season two, no, that's kind of a spoiler for me to talk about that. But I'm 3 episodes away
Okay.
from being caught up. But it's just been really, really impressive so far. Just really good stuff.
Yeah, that show's
And
pretty good.
definitely, yeah. But for what I've been playing, let me see. Well, you know me, Persona, Overwatch. But I played a match with Overwatch and I got called out on my level 15 aim. So that
Oh,
made me
really?
quit.
Nice.
Yeah, that was great. That
Wow.
wasn't upsetting at all.
Did
But
that,
then,
did that did that nix the rest of Overwatch for the night? You got called out and you were like, "Oh, fuck this game,
Yeah.
no more." Yeah.
Oh my god, it was with 6, and
Oh, okay. Mhm.
the entire team was just on both sides was the most toxic environment you could think of. Just
Now you're
man.
playing a real FPS, Katie. Now you're in there.
Yeah.
That's how you know.
Was the
No, I
actual
did have,
was there an insult hurled your way? Was level 15 aim like the actual phrase being
Is that
used?
the insult?
Yeah, they said LOL that level 15 aim. I was playing soldier.
Now hold on.
I was
Is
like,
that-
listen, man.
Are you actually level 15 though?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, that's
Yeah,
I mean,
I-
then that's
Yeah.
not like that's not really a valid insult. I think they may be intended to insult you, but if you're actually level 15, they should go in expecting you to have level 15 aim because you're level 15.
And that's what threw me off. That's what put me on tilt. It's because like there's no validity to this insult.
Yeah.
But I did have one pretty good online experience. I've been playing Rocket League, and I've really been hitting the ranked 1v1s. Those are a lot of fun. And I ranked up to, well, I'm not Prospect Elite anymore. That lasted for about 20 minutes. But the match that I ranked up that high is with someone. It was kind of bittersweet. We both started like the first 1 or 2 minutes. It's kind of even, I think we were like 2-2, and then all of a sudden I just start scoring like effortlessly. And I checked the scoreboard, and he jumped up to 800 ping. And he's just not moving in the game because I'm assuming it's pretty impossible to play. And he starts typing in the chat, "Please, just let's just make it even, please. I can't play like this lag, please. I don't want to. Come on, man, be fair." And I was faced with a decision,
Wow.
and I let him know, "Listen, I feel for you, but I want this rank up."
Oh, you son of a bitch.
And only after we got to 8-2 was the score. And he kept typing in chat like, "Wow, suck my dick. You kill yourself. You fucking." And
Wow.
I remember saying like, "Listen, you should probably leave the match. You're making this harder than it has to be.
Yeah,
You should just leave. I don't like this as much as like any more than you do." But
No, I'm joking by saying like, wow, how could you do that? But there's absolutely zero. I mean, CS:GO isn't the same thing, but in matchmaking, like if somebody DCs and there's a bot or whatever, like we're cheer, like there is no
take it.
mercy.
Oh yeah, you feel
'Cause you get shit
you
on
feel
so
bad,
many
but
times.
you take the win.
Yeah. Oh, you take the win 100% of the time. Yeah, you
the
never.
world is a cruel place.
Yeah, life is not fair. You don't want to like. Nobody fucking gets their wings in heaven for allowing to, like you were saying, like Katie,
yeah.
like if you had whatever, if you had tried to make it even or done whatever else, like God's not going to reward you, dude. Like
I can't trust that guy. What if
God's
he's
going to look at you and say, why did you, why weren't you diamond or whatever? He doesn't give a shit about good deeds.
God, but
I'm glad, Katie. That makes me proud. You're a
My
fucking
favorite
savage.
part of that story is that he starts typing to you, "Hey, let's just be friends, keep it even." And then you decline that offer, and so he moves to like epithets and insults.
Yeah.
he started calling me out, but I'm like, "Listen, you should have checked your internet before you joined the match. It's not my fault you're lagging. I'm gonna take the win if it's being handed to me on a silver platter." And he eventually did leave, and I did rank up, but it was bittersweet. He said like, "If I wasn't lagging, I would have beat your ass."
Of course.
Oh, that's
always.
We'll see, buddy.
a classic internet tale.
Yeah, that was a good time. And then other than that, I started Majora's Mask, the 3DS version, Legend of Zelda, and that is the structure of that game is really different from other Zelda games. If you're not familiar, basically there are only 4 dungeons in the game, and the game puts you on this 3-day timer before the moon crashes into the world and everyone dies and the game is reset. And so you're like manipulating the flow of time. Like if you can reset back before the 3-day cycle, but you lose all of your items, except for like important like canon items, I guess. Like some things are immune, some things aren't. I'm not sure what dictates it, but it's really interesting. And there are so many different like events with like characters and like trying to like solve everyone's problems within 3 days. It's pretty cool. It's pretty interesting. But yeah, that's been fun.
Is there going to be an official Katie Zen reviewer complaint department on this game or anything?
I mean, I don't have a way of capturing 3DS. So
that's a good point.
I'm not going to be, holding up the camera.
With your webcam, Katie? I mean,
oh yeah, we can do
over your shoulder, dude. YouTube 2010,
yeah,
2009. Be set, dude.
That's a throwback.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
yeah, that's all I played this week. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Brad, despite being internet free, not having any internet for 2 days, I guess that's the positive way to spin it. What have you been playing? What have you gotten up to?
I've actually been playing quite a bit. A lot of Overwatch. What else? Civ. Battlefield Bad Company 2 with you guys and the KBMOD crew.
Mm-hmm.
And that was fun. I got back into Killing Floor 2 just the other night. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I've been playing. Nothing really else going on. Yeah, pretty exciting life here.
Oh yeah.
I was just gonna let that Brad that laugh. Brad, it's not that bad. Listen,
will you be my coach on Overwatch?
It's fine.
I need all the help to help my aim.
You got
out.
that level 15 aim, man. Yeah, he needs. What level are you on Overwatch, Brad? By the way,
like 60 something, if I remember right.
Take Katie under your wing.
Boosted.
Take him. That sounds. Did Killing Floor? They released an update. Was it this week or no? Maybe I'm thinking of a different game.
Yeah, I was playing with my friends because they wanted to play the new update, and I didn't recognize any changes. It was the same killing shit. It's like, it's the same. What's new? Like all I noticed was there was new microtransactions for skins. So
okay, all right. Yeah, I'm not.
I'm sure there's something. I didn't read into it. I'm sorry. I'm horrible, but
it's okay. Yeah. No, I was just curious. All right, well, I'll go as well. I've been playing a good amount of stuff. You mentioned Killing Floor. I did play some Killing Floor this last week after only playing it. I think it was back when in the alpha forever ago. I mean, I guess
we got it. We got it right when Press got like alpha codes.
That's what it was.
Day one.
That's what it was. Yeah.
That's when I last played it, and that's how little change I've seen. But anyways, sorry.
Yeah. So I've been playing that, really enjoying that. I mean, obviously, like I've been away for a while from the alpha, and there was a bunch of maps and stuff. I guess the alpha was obviously pretty limited back then. So like as far as the classes went and the maps, it kind of would start getting old after a while. But I've really enjoyed going back and playing it again. Deus Ex: Mankind Divided came out this last week, and it's good. I like it a lot. The PC port is. I don't know. It has its issues. It's not that there's a lot of customization or options, but it just doesn't run all that well right now. There's like mouse acceleration issues. It's serviceable, like it runs, but it definitely has some problems. But the actual core game is definitely like Human Revolution plus, as far as like all the stuff that I really liked about Human Revolution and is there, and with a lot of added stuff as far as like abilities and all that. And like, just for example, one of the reasons I love the like a Deus Ex game, especially loved Human Revolution, was like the side missions and stuff in that game are fantastic, and you can just end up doing that stuff for hours. And so so for the first 6, or I think it was more like 7 hours of Mankind Divided, I did not advance the story, the actual main story, a single tick with a single mission. I was able to do side missions for 7+ hours and have a blast. And that's kind of what I really like about the game, because there's a lot to explore. So yeah, I'm really liking it a lot. I haven't really delved too much into the main story, but just from what I've played so far, it has everything that really made me like the last game. So
So
definitely recommend. Might want to wait a little bit as far as like if you're worried about performance and stuff like that. I'm sure. I don't think they've released a patch yet, but I'm sure there will be some patches to help deal with that. I mean, the community's really gotten involved, and you can do some tweaks and stuff yourself to go in there and figure it out. Like even people were trying to figure out how to get like mouse excel and all that kind of shit off, which is really kind of stupid that isn't really like an option, but it's really good. It's really solid, and it's getting really good reviews across the board. So yeah, really.
So yeah, I've been looking into that, and I loved Human Revolution, but I really don't want to like settle with a bad PC port. Would you say like it's bad enough to where I should consider getting it on PS4?
See,
or
I don't think it's. I mean, again, I haven't played it on PS4. At least for me, I don't think it's not. It doesn't run poorly enough, or like it's totally playable on PC in its current form. I don't think it needs to go to that level. No, I think you should still get it on PC.
Okay.
But again, I haven't played it on PS4. But no, it's not a total disaster. It's just very typical of like, you know, the PC ports that we see the first month or two. Yeah, until they release a patch, it's just kind of like meh.
It's odd because I thought the PC port for Human Revolution was really good. So
yeah, the one thing is like, so again, I know I'm a pleb, but so I need to get another SSD for like I have. The SSD that I use for my
those loading times.
The loading times, dude. Like at least on if you're not going to install it on an SSD, at least for me, are fucking brutal. And this is not a situation I usually run into. I definitely think it's something that they're going to be able to patch, I would think, because in the last game, I mean, I know it's like it's the same engine, and I never had any issues like this.
Oh yeah, they're instant.
And like I'm talking about going on and transitioning through the cities and stuff in the different areas, and I'm talking like 30, 40, 60-second load times.
Oh, those train rides.
Fucking, yeah,
well,
really.
If you're seeing those kinds of load times, I have to imagine the console versions are just as bad, if not worse.
Yeah, that's what someone was saying, that you're going to have to deal with that as well. So, I mean, again, people said that that installed it on an SSD. That, I mean, obviously it makes sense that they maybe 10 or 15 seconds max. So, if you have an SSD and you have space or whatever, it's like I think unpacked, it's like a 50, 60 gig. I mean, it's a typical AAA title. I mean,
if on an SSD it still takes 15 seconds, that's some pretty long load times for an SSD.
Yeah. It's definitely not like well optimized. I don't know exactly what's going on, but
well, hopefully they can fix that.
That's an issue.
What a GPU are you running?
970.
Yeah. Oh, okay, cool. That's the same thing I have. So
yeah, no, I mean you can definitely, and I run it like I don't have it like on super low settings. I'm running some things on high. Like it's like kind of a mix. And it chugs in certain areas and stuff like that. And it's more like I would say because of the mouse stuff, like combat can be, it can be a little bit annoying and stuff like that. So I don't know. I would just say if you really are dying to play it and you can't wait, like I don't think it's bad enough to like because I don't know when they're going to patch it. Like if you're like I have to play it within the next month or whatever, I don't know if there'll be anything out. But anyway, something to consider. But overall,
where does it sit between? Say like you have to buy it on the spectrum of you got to buy this now versus like wait until it's on Steam sale. Where does it sit for you?
Oh God, I mean it's really really good. So I don't know if so between that and waiting for Steam sale, it's not a bad enough port. No, to wait to a Steam sale. No,
okay.
I wouldn't do that, especially if you really like the last game. If you were somebody that was like new to the series or whatever else and didn't really have a super like invested stake in it, then maybe wait till the Steam sale. But no, like Katie, for someone like you, if you really loved Human Revolution, you're gonna love this game. Like it's
okay, cool.
It's just that plus more. So
yeah, I think I can wait because if I pick it up, it's just going on the bottom of the stack of index cards.
Well, yeah, that's right.
He's got to stick to his diet.
Yeah.
I've been slacking.
And Battlefield Bad Company 2 played more of that this week as well.
I gotta get in on one of those games.
Played one game of League of Legends off stream. And
what?
Ranked. Played Ziggs mid because I still had it installed for some reason. I've since uninstalled it. But
how long did it take you to patch?
It took me a while. That launcher is still I can't get over it. But whatever. Yeah. Played one game and it was so funny as I was playing with my friend Timmy, and he was asking, he's like, "Are you having fun right now?" And as I'm playing it, I'm clicking around. This is like at the beginning of the game before I fed and lost to a fucking Varus mid. Varus blue build mid. But I was like, no, I'm really not. Like, I actually had to take inventory, and I was like, as I'm clicking around, I'm like, no, I feel nothing. Like I'm not enjoying this at all. So played one ranked game, and then I uninstalled it. So I don't think I'll be going back.
Do you remember when there was a time that you played League of Legends like you play Counter-Strike today?
No, I know, absolutely, I do. I can't believe that now, but there absolutely was where I really got bit by the bug, and I don't know. It's just lost its luster to me, and I don't know exactly what it like. I don't know if I can pinpoint the exact moment that I like stopped caring, but and it's not even because I'm like, I guess the one good thing about it is that when I go in and play ranked, like I'm not like necessarily like I wasn't like trolling. I was trying to win and stuff. But when you have zero, because a lot of like, especially with MOBAs, I mean, Counter-Strike's very similar too. If you're playing ranked or ESEA or anything else, like the competitive edge in you, right? Like it can be high strung and stressful. But when you go in with zero expectations or whatever else, like it's very freeing. So like when he was asking me if I was having fun, I was like, no, but I feel the most free I've ever felt. Because I was like, I don't really care. It's like, yeah, like I would like to win, but I don't feel like I'm not super on edge. Like when I was playing ranked and stuff in League back in the day, like right away, like, you know, our top would lose it, would like die early. I'd be like, that's fucking it. It's over. Like, you know, I was super high strung. Like
reached
I wasn't
the plane of
necessarily
enlightenment.
like, yeah, but exactly. I feel much more enlightened now. But I don't know if a MOBA will ever grab me again. Like I don't really play Dota, and I don't mentally have I don't like the amount of time to even be remotely okay. Not even okay, but just bad, and understand fully everything that's going on. It's just so much time investment into learning everything and all the items and all the champions and or whatever heroes, and I don't know. So we'll see. You know what? All I'm going to say is bring back Dawngate. Okay, Dawngate was a fun. I actually really like Dawngate. Oh me.
Man,
Dawngate was good, man. I'm sad it went away. But actually, Tome, guys, Tome, browser based. You guys remember that?
Oh God,
Tome. It's a really great game.
Really bringing me back.
Yeah. I think that's it though, as far as what I've been playing. I'm excited to play more Deus Ex. What's up?
I'm lagging.
Oh my God.
Sorry. I was just gonna say, I thought about this like a few days ago. I was like, there's a game I used to be really, really into that like I just thought, where did it go? I don't know if you guys played this. Did any of you play Super Monday Night Combat?
Yes,
Yeah.
I remember Super Monday Night Combat. Yeah, that was not a bad game. That was a pretty good game.
Man.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I just remember I used to be really into that for a time in my life, and I'm just remembering like, just like fleeting images of this game. Like, wait, that existed? Damn.
That is funny that you say that, because I was never into it as you, but we played that a bunch. I remember like a lot of the KBMOD people all played that, and that was a fun game. I don't know whatever happened with that. I'm sure it's still around. But
yeah, I feel like it
forever.
never. I feel like it kind of never really got the player base to be a big game. Like, I mean, it's still there. It's free to play still. I mean, I think you can still go play it. But yeah, I don't know. I really like that game too. I don't know what happened.
Yeah.
Like
I don't know.
just a flash in the pan of time, man. It's like, yeah.
Yeah.
It's funny how our passions come and go, very fleeting, you know. Like there was a time when I was playing League where I was like, man, I'm done with Counter-Strike. I'm fucking never playing that game again. This is the best. And then it's just like, nope.
I remember I was listening to an older podcast, and you were just talking about your hatred for that game.
For
CS:GO.
Oh yeah. Also, I will say a lot of the reason I hated CS:GO is because it was a fucking awful. I mean, it's still, the game has tons of problems, but I mean, it was in a state when I was really into League that was not. It wasn't unplayable, but it was so fucking terrible.
Okay.
So that kind of, I don't know. I think that definitely
Love-hate relationship over CS:GO's lifespan.
Exactly, it has been. It has been. So,
well, why are you upset?
I mean, you were talking about time, Scott, and I just looked, and Super Monday Night Combat came out in April 2012.
Jeez.
Over 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Damn.
How has it been 4 years?
That's crazy.
Wow.
Yeah.
Right,
Katie was only 8 years old when that game came out. That's insane.
Yeah, that was actually my first video game. If I'm being honest.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you go. So yeah, that's what we've been playing this week. Let's jump into. We have a lot. Again, we've got a good amount of news items, a lot of stuff in quick hits. But as far as like the core news, this first story is just juicy. It's just dripping with juice.
This is directly from the gossip column.
This is like directly from TMZ, but it's actually a Game Informer article. But so ZeniMax has had a lawsuit against Oculus since I think 2014. Since 2014. Yeah, it's been ongoing, but they recently amended their lawsuit with some more verbiage and direct accusations at some pretty important or known people, at least in obviously Oculus development, but game development, and they've accused John Carmack of theft, essentially. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is the stuff in this actual lawsuit is beyond accusing John Carmack of stealing thousands of documents. This is from the quote. This is from ZeniMax. Instead of complying with his contract, referring to John Carmack, during his last days at ZeniMax, he copied thousands of documents from a computer to a USB storage device, the amended filing alleges. He never returned those files or all copies of them after his employment with ZeniMax was terminated. In addition, after Carmack's employment was terminated, he returned to the premises to take a customized tool for developing VR tech belonging to ZeniMax itself and part of and something that was basically part of their VR technology. So that's the first part, but that's not even the juiciest part at all, because you would think, okay, I mean, those are some pretty heavy accusations, but ZeniMax is a company. They're not. If you actually look at their history, they have a long history of suing companies that or people that have left them for basically breaking, infringing on their copyright or just trying to get a piece of a pie. Not saying that this isn't valid, but the next part is great. So this is further, even beyond this, the suit increases its allegations that Palmer Luckey is not the inventor of contemporary virtual reality. And so in the original filing, ZeniMax said this: Luckey increasingly held himself out to the media and the public as the visionary developer of the Rift VR tech, which had actually been developed by ZeniMax without Luckey's involvement. So they're claiming that, again, this is like the story, like created it in the parents' garage, right? It was like, this was a story that was all over the place, right, guys? Like, it was kind of a cool
Kid
thing.
Wonder.
The Kid Wonder, 18 years old, right? I mean, that's the story that has been at least dispersed into the media, and what, I think a lot of us believed, had no reason not to believe it. And this is where it gets really interesting, because this is where the claws are coming out from ZeniMax. And this is what they say. They are claiming a conspiracy, and that basically Luckey was basically, Brandon, you used the term pawn when we were talking about this earlier, but is just like a pawn in this scheme to basically steal this technology that ZeniMax developed, and that he basically, I'm going to read this, but he was too dumb to come up with the technology. And this is literally the stuff that they say in the lawsuit. Okay, they say basically this was a false and fanciful story that Luckey was the brilliant inventor of VR tech who had developed that technology in his parents' garage. In fact, the story was utterly and completely false. This is again quoting them. Luckey lacked the training, expertise, resources, or know-how to create commercially viable VR tech. His computer programming skills were rudimentary, and he relied on ZeniMax computer program code and games to demonstrate the prototype. Nevertheless, this fraudulent tale was frequently reported in the media as fact. Luckey increasingly and falsely held himself out to the media and the public as the visionary developer of the Rift VR tech, which had actually been developed by ZeniMax without any substantial contribution from Luckey. Yeah. So, I mean, I just love it because like the language they're taking. I mean, they're going for the jugular, man. I mean, they're saying that like there's no way this dude, like it was all a lie. Like he didn't invent anything. He lied about it, and he was too dumb to create it. Like, I mean, you can't make it up.
It's so weird. I feel like there's some juicy stuff in between that like Oculus ZeniMax relationship. Because if you recall
absolutely,
back before Facebook bought Oculus and all this, like John Carmack was like kind of interested in VR, kind of like seemed to be friendly with Oculus, but like was still working at ZeniMax, and so like no one really knows the truth here. But the accusation against Carmack, there's no other way to really take it. Is like they said he copied a ton of documents from a computer at ZeniMax onto a thumb drive, and then took them and never gave them back. So I mean that's either true or it's false. I don't know that there's a whole lot of like interpretation there. But the thing about Palmer Luckey is pretty wild. That they're just saying that like he did not develop this, and that he's sort of just that he's just like a figurehead that's been touted to the media as this brilliant kid. Man, I don't even know where, like, who knows where this is going. This is a drama for the ages.
Yeah, the comments of the Game Informer article actually are really interesting because some people point out, like, I mean, a lot of people are just like, yeah, I mean, we don't really know the full story. Some people on the side of like, this was a comment by somebody that said, ZeniMax has a history of suing corporations it deems are stealing its property. Basically, same thing happened with the Fallout MMO. Interplay sold the IP to ZeniMax. Part of the agreement was that Interplay would retain the rights to make a Fallout MMO, but then ZeniMax basically rescinded on that, and we're like, no, we don't want that. Sued them, basically shut it down. So again, I mean, ZeniMax is a huge company, and that doesn't, just because they're a huge company doesn't mean that necessarily that they're lying or that they're wrong or whatever else. But
they do seem, I mean, like in this case though, I feel like ZeniMax does. I feel like they have always seemed, in this particular case, like they have sour grapes here. Like,
absolutely. They're mad. They're pissed.
I think when we originally saw this lawsuit, it's like we all sort of just assumed, this company that you had this kind of relationship with got purchased by a huge company in Facebook, and they're basically looking to profit off it, right? Because ZeniMax got nothing from that purchase. They're looking to make money on it. But here, I mean, if what they're claiming is true, it's pretty damning stuff. But also, like, it seems crazy. It seems really crazy that you're going to say that Palmer Luckey like did not develop any of this technology, when I feel like that would have, like, I feel like you wouldn't be able to keep up that kind of pace for that long.
Yeah. And it's interesting also, like, people discussing, I thought this is an interesting comment, like people that really follow the scene and stuff like that, and like they're like, Palmer like is so well spoken on the subject and very knowledgeable. A lot of people from this lawsuit are not buying that he is just this pawn that has no idea what rudimentary coding ability. Like, people aren't buying that about Palmer.
I feel like he's been in the public eye enough that kind of scrutiny, he would have cracked under that pressure if he didn't actually have the skills.
Exactly. Like that. I mean, sure, you can be, you can Sean Murray. It's called Sean Murray, by the way, at this point. But you can Sean Murray for a certain amount of time, but eventually, you will crack. And, for Sean Murray, the crack was that game that came out. But, yeah, I totally agree with that. You would think that, like, by now, he would have been shown to be a fraud in someone would be like, ask him something and be like, well, he's never given a straight answer on this, but I mean, those are some pretty intimidating circles to be in. Like, the other side of that too is like, if you're Palmer, like he's not like, these aren't just like, I don't know, he's not like just sharing this at E3 in front of game journalists. It's
right.
Not, there's some super techies in that crowd that I'm sure whether he's talking like
the VR enthusiast crowd, I feel like would have easily picked someone like that apart, and I mean, like, Carmack too. I feel like Carmack wouldn't. Yeah. I don't think he would have joined that company had he not had respect, for Palmer and the other people there. Like, exactly. Carmack is a brilliant technical mind, and it seems like from what he's from what he's said, it sounds like Palmer does have that kind of those same chops. So, I don't know. The thing with Carmack, though, is interesting because that could be proved one way or the other, and is absolutely. I think that's the most likely. Like, I think
I mean, I understand. Like, again, it's not as it's easy. I mean, obviously, in a lawsuit, it's cut and dry or black and white to a certain extent. But life is very rarely like that. And I think it's entirely plausible that Carmack had a lot of obvious work and stuff that he did at ZeniMax, right? That he did and he worked on and he felt was his work. And he just went and he's like, well, I'm not leaving this stuff behind. I need this. Yeah. And he took it. I'm not saying that makes it any more legal, obviously, but I'm guessing to Carmack, it's just like, yeah, I made this stuff and it's my work. And yeah, sure, I was at ZeniMax, but I'm not going to leave it here.
Right.
Like, that's
and
insane.
It gets into like the nitty gritty of kind of that idea that if you code something on your your company laptop, then like it's company property. Even if he was just staying after hours and doing like a personal project, it gets into the really, the gray areas of what is personal versus what is work. And I mean, that's assuming that he even did this. Like, we don't know. When they say he copied thousands of documents, that could mean that like he copied some email or something. Like, thousands of documents is nothing. So who knows if they're just using, copied thousands of documents to make it sound like he did this horrible thing when like he might have like copied a folder of personal stuff or something. We don't actually know. But that's some wild stuff. It does feel like they're amending the complaint, I think, to get more eyeballs on it, right? Like, that's
media coverage.
It seems like they did it for media coverage, and I mean, it worked.
I mean,
but man,
the number one podcast in the world is talking about it right now. So
I know
clearly it's working.
Some really juicy stuff. And you know what? If I had to guess, like, I'm sure Oculus is not without blame here, because otherwise I don't think ZeniMax would be pursuing it as aggressively as they are. But man, they like usually you see legal language be a little, I don't know, a little less pointed.
Yeah.
And this stuff just like does not hold back.
No. Yeah, that's what's pretty amazing about it. Katie, Zen, Brad, thoughts? Anything?
I was just thinking about if you were at work and you made a meme, does it become your work's meme?
That's a great question.
I think when we talk about that, we get into the thorny issue of meme ownership as a general concept, and that's a road that's dark and scary.
It is very. That we could do a whole podcast on that meme ownership.
Listen, who was the first person to coin the phrase barn door? This guy. Now, what has happened to it? It's been claimed by KBMOD. Now,
it's been appropriated.
I don't take legal action against this.
That's true.
I don't know.
That's true, but you could, I suppose.
I mean, you should have.
If the barn door meme exploded and became a profitable enterprise, you would probably want a piece of that pie.
Yeah, I'd have to defend it.
Yeah.
You went onto my computer and took my barn door documents. Seized them.
It's your Oculus, really.
Wow.
You're right. I need to hop on that. Well, only if it starts. If it really picks up.
You probably ought to.
Exactly.
You might want to think about it a little more before you invest the legal fees.
Yeah, before you try to sue a website and company that's literally hemorrhaging cash like KBMOD, you probably should.
Oh yeah.
I actually just had to mortgage my house to pay for the server hosting for the site, so we're doing great. I don't even own a house, so I don't know what the fuck I did. I just moved money around that I didn't have.
You mortgaged the house you don't even own.
I don't even own it. I don't know whose it was.
That's big.
We had to keep the site up. All right. Well, yeah, definitely interesting, and we'll keep an eye on this. I'm sure it's only going to get juicier. I mean, 'cause they're demanding a jury trial, so they're not looking to settle outside of court. I mean, they want a jury to decide, which is pretty.
I think I would be glued to like the status articles if they end up going to trial, because I think that would be a fascinating trial.
Yeah. All right. So our next news story, and this was exciting because I was definitely bummed when I heard that Allison Road had been canceled. This was probably maybe 2 or 3 months ago that that news had come out. It was in June. And if you don't know what Allison Road is, it's a Silent Hill-inspired kind of first-person horror game made by basically just one dude who he did have help eventually, but it was Christian Kelsler. And eventually it was on Kickstarter and got a ton of support, and it earned over half of its funding basically in 3 weeks, but then it ended up shutting down because they were going to actually just publish the game, and they got a publisher. But it's back basically, and the one thing that's kind of annoying about this is the studio basically it was Lilith Limited, and Team 17 were the studios that were going to publish this game, and it was just kind of really abrupt. I don't remember the exact sequence of tweets, but it basically was just like Allison Road is canceled and we're sorry. And we still don't know what happened. And while we're talking about juicy things, I would love to hear exactly what went down. But basically people just were like, well, I guess that's the end of that. But he talked to IGN, and this is some of his quotes. He said, "It took a bit of soul searching to find the drive to work on Allison Road again, or to simply make a call on what to do next." He said, "After the setback, I took a bit of a break from working on it and reevaluated all the work that had been done on it so far, the whole journey, so to speak. I started making a few, in my opinion, necessary changes to the story and flow, little bits and pieces here and there, and before I knew it, it sort of naturally came back to life." So sounds like he didn't necessarily set out to start the project again, but then he decided to do it, which is kind of cool. And I mean, again, like people lost their shit about this because if you remember, I don't know if you've seen the trailer or whatever, some of it's very PT reminiscent, and that's really what got people excited.
It's a cash-in.
I mean, yeah, that's fair.
Another
Absolutely.
thing worth noting too is that they parted with their original publisher, so that could have a hand in this coming back, because maybe absolutely. There's some a clash of interests for the game.
Yeah, I don't know exactly. I don't know what happened with the publisher. Like he's not saying why they ended up parting ways or whatever else. He did end up. He started his basically it's a solo project. Well, obviously now. And he's saying that he did for the gameplay trailer that originally was shown. He did all the modeling texture, it was his game, his whole thing. He did everything on it, and so he feels like he can move the game forward by himself. He doesn't need a team, and he's basically started a company with his wife to release this. So anyway,
wasn't there? I thought there was some kind of involvement with Kojima. Yeah, wasn't there?
With Allison Road? I don't think so.
I haven't heard anything about that.
No.
I don't see how he could have any involvement.
Because it's literally just it's like a PT.
Sorry, maybe it was another horror game or something that Kojima was involved with. But
maybe PT, but I don't think Konami maybe took any action against this.
No, I mean, not yet, but I mean, it's Konami, so watch. He'll try to, he'll actually get this done and try to release it, and then the next thing will be Konami will be like, no, that looks like PT, so it's not happening.
Shut it down.
Shut it down.
Oh my God.
But so you sound a little jaded. You think this is you didn't think there was potential here? You just thought this was a cash-in? Like, do you think? I thought it looked okay. I mean, again, it wasn't PT. It's not as, but I kind of like the environment because I felt like the spiritual successor of PT because we're never going to see the game. Obviously, that Silent Hill, right? We're not going to see it. So the fact that this was
I highly
inspired by it was kind of like, okay, cool, like take the mantle. Obviously it's not Kojima and everything, but that didn't excite you. You kind of just feel like meh.
Yeah, there are just a lot of things in the initial gameplay that they showed that really rubbed me the wrong way. Like things like having the guy you play as talk, I think kind of makes it less scary because you're not being yourself, you're being a character.
Yep. That's a good point.
At one point in the demo, you just literally hear, "I can see you."
Yeah, there was definitely some campy stuff.
I mean, it looked beautiful, and I mean, I think it's really overhyped, and it really only picked up steam because people really wanted PT, and this is the next best thing. I mean, I'm glad that it's back out. I mean, it's good for. I want to see this. Any indie team, get their game out there, and sure, it'll be scary. It's just, I don't know. I can't say it's on my list.
Okay, fair enough. I'm curious. Yeah, I mean, this is not my boner must play list, but it's definitely something. If it does come out, I'll try it out. I'm sure. Yeah. It'll be interesting. So anyway,
what is on your boner must play list?
That's a great question. I mean, do you have time? There's a lot of things on there. None of them, very few of them are actual games meant for like public consumption. A lot of them are anime clickers that I'm a little bit ashamed to talk about. But
yeah, that's.
Have you ever heard of Sakura? You ever heard of the Sakura series? Sakura, however you say it.
That's different from his regular must play list. Just to be clear.
Exactly. Yeah. I don't want.
You know what's on my? Yeah, on mine is Dragon Ball Z.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I don't know if you're trolling or you're serious.
My favorite anime.
Oh my. Okay. All right. Well, mine's Cory in the House, but if we're gonna go that road, I mean, I can battle back. All right.
Did I tell you that? Did I tell you that someone called where I work one time and they're like, we're looking for any kind of like fighting game. Like, there's this one like anime game. Well, no, it was like asking for any kind of fighting game. It's like, yeah, we have this. I didn't take this call. I heard about it from someone else. It was like, yeah, they have this game called like J Stars, or yeah, I think it was called like J Stars. It just has a bunch of anime characters in it, and the guy on the phone was like, oh yeah, what kind of anime characters are on there? And they were like, just the Shonen Jump stuff. There's like Bleach, Naruto. And the guy on the phone said, is Cory in the game?
Oh my.
Cory.
Oh.
From the best anime? He's like, no, Cory in the House is not in the game.
No.
This is a legendary phone call.
No.
I wish I could have taken that.
Wow. That's pretty good. Wow. All right.
Yeah.
The memes will never die. At least that Cory in the... I feel like that Cory in the House anime meme is just... I still see it like... I'll see it randomly in like MLG montages. Like people will put the Cory in the House anime, like best anime meme reference. I don't know. It's just, it lives on.
Cory is just, it's one of a kind. Just the shot work, it's a great adaptation from its original manga.
Cory, greatest waifu ever.
Oh yeah, easy.
So, all right. Finally, we have a bunch of quick hits to get to, but as far as a little bit longer form news, and we won't go too long on this, but according to a PC Gamer survey, 35% of us, and I say us, PC gamers, pirate, not me, I don't pirate games, so I want to be clear, but 35% of people like me who play PC games pirate them. And this was a survey that they did. They had 50,000 people respond to the survey. And this was an open survey, so they want to like clarify that, it is possible for people to, obviously anybody can lie on a survey and troll a little bit, but they felt like they got a pretty good, 50,000 is a pretty good amount of responses.
Yeah,
and the data that they were able to mine from that is pretty interesting. So first of all, does that number shock, like when you hear 35%, I feel like that number sounded like just about right, actually. I don't know why, but I was like,
it to me as well.
35 sounds about right.
Yeah.
I think it sounds right. And also I think that question being a yes or no is like, there's a lot of nuance hidden there, because you don't know if someone who answers yes maybe pirates like one game a month or a year or something, and maybe buys their other games.
Did they do it once?
Like if you do you answer yes if like you pirated a game to try it because you heard it ran poorly or something?
The question was, do you currently pirate PC?
Oh, because they put currently in there.
No, I know, but I'm just saying, like, yes or no. Let's say if you pirated something to try it before buying it, see if it worked on your hardware or something. I'm just offering a hypothetical that, like, saying do you currently pirate as yes or no. I think this does make sense, because I think there are some scenarios where people might pirate occasionally or something, like either to try a game or a game isn't available on the service they want it on or something. So that figure does sound about right, like, a little over a third of PC gamers. And it's like self-identifying people of, the PC gamer audience, who is going to be kind of like the hardcore who knows about pirating, who like probably is technically savvy enough for the most part to figure that stuff out. I imagine if you poll a different site, that would look way different.
Yeah.
The yes or no is kind of vague. Like, that's happened to me too. Like, a while ago, I pirated like Sonic Generations because I wanted to see if it was like a bad port or not, and which I now own on Steam. But
oh my god, dude, I can hear the sirens now, Katie. Don't say this on the podcast.
Shit.
They're coming.
I gotta go later, guys. No, but But so that yes or no, there should be. I feel like there should have been like a
Right. So
middle
see, are you? So
answer.
are you? Do you consider yourself a yes or
yeah.
a no? Given
I
that,
would say probably.
I would. I mean, I'd love to say no, but if the question is, have I pirated
But it was
games?
current. It was current though. Not
Current.
average.
You're right. You're right.
You would say no.
I would probably say no, but I could see like people being faced with that dilemma if they're like if they often pirate things just to, but they still buy anyways if they like want to support the developer. But so yeah, I agree that it's kind of vague.
Yeah. They then go into piracy by age, which is really they ask 3 identifying characteristics: so age, country of residence, and approximate income. And so the age range I thought was also interesting. So the 10 or younger, actually, 78 responses for 10 or younger of people that pirate, which is interesting. And then the 60 plus crowd, 77, which again, I'm not saying that people that are 60 plus aren't savvy, but I feel like some of those responses fall into the realm of trolls, but maybe I could be totally wrong.
With the sample size of less than 100, I'm guessing you can't really trust those numbers, but I think the ones in the center probably make sense. Like the curve definitely makes sense of just I think like it's slightly, it goes 11 to 15 and then it like piracy is higher, 16 to 20, which probably makes sense because you probably understand computers better when you're a little bit older. But then it like goes down steadily over time as you have more income, and like you probably don't want to mess with your computer as much. I mean, I've noticed that just in my own habits, like as I'm getting older and I have a little bit less time, where I might have like tweaked overclocks more and stuff in the past. I touch that stuff a little bit less now, just because I have time. I don't have enough time. I don't have the time that I used to have to mess around with that kind of thing. And I think piracy falls in that same kind of category.
Yep. As far as like the income responses, this is what was interesting and definitely falls like, so basically $0 to $10,000. That was, 22,217 responses. Current piracy by income, the highest, and that makes a lot of sense. So, no, like the majority of pirates have the lowest annual income at below 10K. Almost 50% of our respondents in this category pirate games, while half the number of gamers pirate if they make more than 25,000 a year. So, would seem to make some sense just logically, right? Like, okay, if you can't, you don't have much money, pirating makes a lot more sense.
And also like just in the category, the age range categories of like 11 to 15 and 16 to 20. A lot of those people are not going to have jobs. Like, you're definitely not going to have a job. I don't know. Maybe not definitely, but almost all kids under age 16 are not going to have jobs, and they're going to probably have free time. So, like, the curiosity factor for piracy when you're that age is way higher. And even 16 to 20, like, high school, college age kids, a lot of them aren't going to have jobs either. So that definitely makes a lot of sense.
I think another really interesting breakdown of this article is when they're asked the question, do you think it's wrong to pirate games? Yes being the most, like the biggest answer. And the second highest voted answer is it depends on who made the game, which I think is kind of interesting because, if something made by Ubisoft, you don't feel as bad pirating because, they're rolling in cash. But something like, Octodad, you want to support that dev, so you'd pay for something like that.
Yeah.
So I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting because I think that like this survey shows that it's more than 1 out of 5 feel that way, that it's like it's not a binary moral question. Like, they're probably willing to pirate a game depending on who made it. And I think there are a lot of people that fall into that camp, frankly. Like, especially in that try before you buy scenario. I think if there's not an easy way to try a game that is maybe from a publisher or developer that you don't really trust to put out a great game, then you might be more likely to pirate it instead of give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't know.
Yeah. It's interesting. Yeah.
I think I'm actually pretty curious how pirating has gone maybe down since Twitch has came out, because I don't know about other people, but instead of like, I've been always interested in, maybe when I used to pirate games, I would do it to demo a game, but now that Twitch is out, I actually watch streamers play the game before I do, so that way, like, they're basically like testing the game for me, and if it's something I think I'd like, I just buy it. And if I see they're playing the game and it's full of bugs or it doesn't look fun at all, I just save my money. Like, so I'm curious to see how like a live platform has influenced piracy. So
yeah,
definitely.
I think you're probably right that that I think a lot of people probably in the past, when they didn't have a way to access kind of someone else's experience with the game as directly as you can, like through Twitch, for instance, then you would be more likely to pirate it so that you weren't out money. Like ultimately, I think that's definitely something that I think has probably brought piracy down. But also just the other services that you can get games from at a discount. Like you have Steam sales, but you also have like GOG and some other like Humble
resellers.
Bundle.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the resellers. Yeah, like I think there are a lot more ways to get legitimate keys, or if you're not sure about the experience, you have more legal ways to like get a feeling about whether or not the game would work or whether or not you would like the game, instead of having to download it and pirate it just to try it, like that scenario. And also the one other, I think, last thing that's interesting from this survey was the question they asked of how often would you say you've purchased a PC game after pirating it, and almost 50%, so almost half the respondents said more than 50% of the time they've purchased a PC game after pirating it. So I think that's an interesting stat, because I think that's something that is not well, or like you're talking about, Brad, is like you watch Twitch, or maybe someone else would pirate the game to try it. We don't really have a good try before you buy type system. Like, I mean, this used to be what shareware was for back in the day.
In
like,
demos, before, when they actually
demos,
made them.
Yeah, like demos and shareware, I feel like have kind of gone away, and I'm not really sure why. I think we've had this discussion on the podcast before, but I'm not really.
You don't
sure
need
why.
that stuff when you can just build hype at fucking E3, and
I guess
you have the internet machine. I'm telling you, man.
I guess, but like
No Man's Sky.
I mean, yeah. I mean, I hate to say it, but
It's just
like
I feel like there's kind of something that's been lost there, because
I agree.
I would actually really love to have the kind of ecosystem that we used to have with games, where you would either get the first level or something, or like there was some experience that the developer cared about giving you for free. And like Doom did this recently, for instance, which I thought was really cool. Is like they're giving you something for free that they know is going to make you want more, ideally. But like, I want to download that as my teaser, right? Like No Man's Sky, maybe I have 30 minutes or an hour to try out. Maybe it wouldn't even take an hour, but I have like 30 minutes to try out some new game. But I'm not going to risk $60 just based on maybe what I see on a Twitch broadcast or something else. Like I'm usually not going to go through the effort of buying a $60 game, downloading the entire thing, right? Downloading the full whatever, how many gigs it is, and then trying it out and hoping that I get an idea of it in the first 30 minutes or an hour, and then refund it if I don't like it. That's a ton of work, and also not a great experience. Whereas if there was like a demo or shareware version of No Man's Sky that was like, I don't know, a gig or two that I could just download real quick and try this little bite-sized thing, I would absolutely do it. And I think a lot of people would.
To me, it's like a kind of like a part, like somewhat, like you said, there's some companies doing it, like Doom did it, but it's kind of tone deaf to think that. I mean, maybe in part it's also laziness, because I do stand by my other point that people, for the most part, will, based off of hype or whatever else, or just trailers, or because what do we get now? Like when you can play, like you can go and you can play demos at E3 or PAX or whatever else, but like you said, very rarely is it like, oh, you can actually. I mean, I guess the form would be alpha and betas for certain games. Yes, that does exist, but I think it works on more people than, like, if you put out a solid product, like you said, that's 1 or 2 gigs. And actually, I think that would even sold more No Man's Sky copies, to be honest, because most people report that playing the first 2 or 3 hours of that game, you're like, "Fuck, this is cool." And then after 4 hours, you're like, "Oh my god, I'm doing the same thing over and over and over again with different fucking head-shaped monsters, and this planet's purple instead of So I think harkening or back to like you said, kind of the old ecosystem would be super helpful. Like, it would be awesome. I'm definitely like more inclined, if I can actually get my hands on something and try it a little bit and enjoy it, to be like, wow, that's definitely something I want the full experience of. I mean, that used to work on me all the time. Dude, PlayStation demo disc, people are talking about it in chat, but man, like, I look forward to that shit so much. Obviously, I fell in the range of like, I had one new fucking $60 game a year when I had no income when I was younger, so I would play the demos until I knew every nook and cranny, because I didn't really have other games, but it also would get me hyped. Like, even years later, when, like, I remember Metal Gear, like Metal Gear Solid. Like, I played that demo for years, and I was like, God, when my parents let me play mature rated games, and I think it was a mature rated game, wasn't it? I'm almost 100%. Yeah, it had to be.
It was.
And like that sold me on that game years and years later, when I was finally like, oh, I'm free from my parents. I can finally go back and play Metal Gear Solid. And that demo, like, I have so much fond memories. When I finally played it, I was like, oh my God, I'm coming up out of the water at the sub base. Like, this is crazy. Like, and I'm actually going to get to play the full experience. I mean, that's still stuck with me. So
yeah, I remember I remember playing stuff like Oddworld, Abe's Odyssey, and Crash Bandicoot on a demo disc. I never owned the games, but I remember those experiences. And had I had the money for them, or had I been able to at the time, I probably would have bought them. But I feel like the demos and like the days of the demo disc allowed you to try things, and like, we just completely regressed from that. Like, there's not a good way to try games anymore, and I think that is a lot of times what leads people to piracy. Like, even on the consoles, I don't think there's normally a good way to try out a game, and that's, I don't know. I think there is something lost there.
Consoles at least have, they actually do have a demo system still in place. That's pretty nice.
Oh yeah,
and Steam does as well, but usually the demos are done in-house. So like, if, like, let's say you want to play something on PlayStation, try a demo, usually it's like made and published by Sony, right? So Steam, on the other hand, you're probably going to be looking at, I was just looking, Euro Truck Simulator is one of the most popular demos, but that, like you're super limited because it's up to the developer. And I think it's really, I think when it comes to a development standpoint, I think it's risky to do a demo anymore, because like so many studios are under heavy deadlines. I think that, like, they honestly don't have the time to do a demo like around launch or something, or maybe it's too expensive. I'm not sure, but I think it's just too risky to do a demo and bank on hype anymore.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's also easy to not do something that other people also aren't doing.
Well, that's true. Yeah, you don't need to.
If they've fallen off the train.
Yeah. But I think there is something there. Because I think if we lived in a world where demos were more readily available for PC games, I think these numbers would be a lot different. Because, like,
because I just had the thought, like, how amazing would it be if there's a game that you're looking forward to, and, like, let's say, I'm not even saying pre-order or whatever else, but let's say you buy or there's a way to get a hold of this, and they send you an old style fucking paper or cardboard sleeve, right, with a disc in it. And obviously you're going, well, not everybody even has fucking like DVD drives or rewrite. Like, people are building computers without them. You don't even need them anymore. But it's actually like a US, so it looks like a disc, but it's actually like a USB, right, with like a 3 gig demo on it. I don't know, like, I'm just thinking of marketing opportunities for this, like bringing it back. I just, like, there's some cool stuff.
Yeah, there could be
to bring back like that nostalgia. Be like, that's cool. Like, they sent me a physical thing. It's got, like, I don't know, like, and again, I know I'm just looking
maybe
at
like a Loot Crate style deal, where like a monthly thing, like this is the hot games coming out. You can play. Like that. I would probably pay for that, like a subscription based. Honestly, get a USB thumb drive.
Even something that just harkens back to like that feeling that you would get, like, like with the demo disc or something. That's just kind of like a variety. And it's like, hey, like, these are some cool games that people are working on. I don't know. Maybe something like that exists.
Totally play off that nostalgia.
You could totally play off that.
I'd almost resub to a magazine if I knew, like, they were going to do
they had
demos. Yeah.
Exactly. All that stuff went away. It's kind of like a bummer. I feel like this podcast just becomes me being like, God, life was so cool back then. What is this adult life? It fucking sucks, dude. Everything's different. But
I just want to play Sonic Adventure 2 Battle.
Yeah.
All day. The life I miss.
But yeah, definitely interesting. And you're right. It's not that it's totally gone away. I think we are kind of also just talking about the idea of it, like when you lose the physicality of actually having like a disc or whatever else. I mean, even like I have a PS4. I don't go out and buy physical copy. I mean, some people like to, but there's no point because like I had this happen with fucking what game did I buy? The Last of Us Remastered. So I was talking about this. I was like, well, I'm gonna go out and get the physical copy because I haven't bought anything on console for years. Like I bought a PS4, so I like had forgotten that they got rid of like a fucking book inside. Like there's nothing.
Yeah.
So I went and I'm like, I'm gonna go buy the physical copy. The last people in my chat were like, what? Why? Just download it instantly off the marketplace. I'm like, no, I want the physical copy. They're like, there's nothing inside the box when you open it up. I was like, yeah, get the fuck. I get it. I open it up and there's nothing. And literally, it does the same thing. It installs to your hard drive off the disk. It doesn't even use the fucking disk.
Yep. It's so basically just for people with slow internet.
There's truly no point. And like part of me was like, I just died inside. I was like, man, that's crazy now. So I mean, I guess like a lot of this is just coming back to, me being like, it was just a different time before like high speed internet everywhere. But you definitely lose something. You definitely lose something with that. And it's the same thing. It's like the amount of choice and whatever else. It's because we just like you were limited. Like you only bought 1 or 2 new games a year. You were never, like you said, you never even owned the Crash Bandicoot franchise, but you played that demo over and over again. With less choice comes more enjoyment, man. Listen, we got to shut our stuff, guys. We're spoiled. We need to go back to the old days, man. I'm gonna, you know what? Fuck fiber. I'm gonna get a 56K connection. I'm getting my parents' AOL account back, and dude, I'm going back to Juno email. Okay, like let's fucking.
Wow.
I think it would be an interesting experiment for you to go back to dial-up, so that you would it would force you to really savor what you played.
Yeah, no, it really would. It really would.
I'm gonna go pick up my Dreamcast I had when I was a kid and plug it up to the internet for the first time. Get some add-ons for my Chow Garden in Sonic Adventure. Blow my mind all over again.
That just gave me an idea for a stream of literally. So I guess you would have to stream. I don't know. This is kind of weird. Figured out how to do it, but basically I would do a stream where I'm actually on another computer on 56K, and like stream that experience. Because honestly, that would be fascinating for people. Because people, and when I say 56. I'm talking sometimes 28.8 or whatever it was, or 36.
Yeah, 56 is just what they called the modems. But no one ever actually had a 56K connection. It was all 28.8 or 14.4.
Yeah, like tell me, like if you put a cap card in a computer that was on or whatever else and like streamed it on your other connection, but had a 56K connection and just like tried to just use the internet in today's day and age. It
wouldn't even work today because you have to remember too, like the web pages back then were way lighter. Because
that's true.
They
were optimized for that.
Like you would just sit there trying to load the Steam front page for like an hour.
Yeah, that's a really good point. God, I would be really interested to do that experiment. I mean, it's also amazing like how many people still have AOL. We talk about this every time we see a story on it, but there's still a crazy amount of people that actually like. And I know it's obviously probably older segments of the population, but that literally think that the AOL is their gateway to the internet. Like
everyone's got a phone line.
Exactly. So, anyway, I know we're getting off topic, but anyway, yeah, that's really interesting. The piracy stuff.
I would be interested to see what this looks like for other platforms, like console, and I mean, I know obviously the numbers are going to be way lower, but I'm just interested to see what that does look like for like console or mobile.
People mod their consoles and stuff to do stuff,
yeah, it's still possible. It's just like obviously pirating games on PC is easier than the other platforms, but like you can pirate mobile games, you can pirate console games. Yeah. I'm interested to see what these breakdowns would look like for a mobile website that ran a similar survey or something.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And I just about for a second, but so I didn't really talk about personally as far as me pirating. I honestly I can't think of a single. I don't think I've ever pirated a game in my life, which is actually crazy because I've been PC gaming for a long time. But I can't really ever think, because most of the time it was like, for me, it was never worth like the hassle. And if people were just like, well, I'm going to pirate it. Like I totally understand the idea of pirating it first to like see if it's shit or not, right? And then buying it. But I mean, nowadays there's just so many. I don't know if you guys talked about this, but there's so many avenues for getting games at a good price. Whether it's the Steam sale, whether it's any of like key resellers or whatever else. It's like, like going through the hassle of like, even if it's just minimal of like, okay, why won't this run? I have to patch this or do whatever else, or like it's like I can buy the game for cheap. I understand like if you don't have any additional income to be able to do it, but I mean, there's just so many ways to get stuff, and most of the stuff that you would see pirated like would be just like it. Okay, the only thing I've been tempted to pirate recently is I think is Silent Hill 2, because there is a PC version of that game, but
wait, what?
Yeah, there is a PC
Silent
version
Hill
of that
2?
game, but it's super rare and it's only physical, and you can't like you have. I think it's like 100. I'm gonna find what it actually cost.
Holy!
I think
shit.
last time I checked. Silent Hill 2 PC.
I'm gonna look for that
on Amazon is going for $109.48.
Yeah, I would.
Which is pretty crazy.
Published by Konami. All right, pirating. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it goes into depends on who made it.
But that's a situation where I would be like, I'm not fucking paying 100, and it's just like it's not worth it. And I don't have a PS2 or whatever set up. I mean, I guess technically, if I really wanted to play it, I could get a PS2 and do the whole thing. But yeah. Anyway.
Yeah, I've been settling it. I've settled for it on PS2. Like I have the PS2 physical copy, but if it's on PC, I'd be interested to see if like how much better it looks. Because I know the HD collection they made just looks abysmal on the PS3.
Yeah.
But yeah, I gotta look into that.
If you get $109, you got it easy.
Oh yeah, I'll make that a definite purchase. Yeah,
I don't think I've ever pirated. I can't think of a game I pirated, except the one thing I do remember is I think I pirated the discs for Star Wars Galaxies, which I own. I own somewhere, but I did not have the installed discs anymore. So I think, and I mean that game is dead now. But I think I pirated those discs so that I could play the like emulation server that's still up. But yeah, I was in the same boat as you, Scott. I just didn't. Yeah. Like it was never really worth the hassle. No. And I was fortunate to usually have like a pretty good computer where I didn't have to worry as much about will this game run, will it run well. Like I think that's a legitimate. I mean, as legitimate as a piracy argument can get is like the I don't know. We don't need to stand on this topic much longer, but like the minimum specs and recommended specs is such a complete nightmare.
It's a crapshoot.
It is such a trash fire. Like there's no standardization around that stuff, and so you never really know if your computer is going to be if it's going to have a good experience. And I actually think that demos or shareware versions would be great at that specifically. You could download it, and then you could open the game, right, play the first level or something, and you would know immediately, does this run like complete garbage on my setup? And there's no other technology out right now that mimics that experience of like, will this game feel like garbage on my PC? And I think demos would help go a long way to solving that use case of not having to pirate games to see if the game runs well.
I mean, I also don't even consider you a pirate, to be honest, for what you just said. Because if you already own it and then have to, get it again, like you've already bought it. You know what I mean? Once, like that doesn't count.
There's a lot of different arguments, but I think the one thing that is not well served right now is just knowing if the game will work well. And I don't even necessarily mean like on bad hardware. I mean like if the game is not optimized for AMD cards or NVIDIA cards. Like you might have a top of the line PC, but there could still be problems with the specific card you own or something. So like it's I think a problem that affects high end PCs and lower end PCs more or less equally.
Definitely. All right, so we will move on, but definitely an interesting discussion, and we'll keep an eye on the number one pirate over here, Katie Zen. I think that's going to be your new nickname, Katie, after that information that you shared of pirating a Sonic game once. I think you're top of the list. That's crazy.
I can't believe
you do that. All right, go ahead with the quick hits. You want to take this first one about Sony, the PS Now stuff?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, jumping into quick hits. We did have a good amount of Sony news come over the past week. So PS Now is a subscription service which has only been available on PS4 before. Possibly PS3, I'm not sure. It'd be kind of pointless there, but essentially what it is, it's $20 a month, and when you jump into the software, it's essentially emulating a PS3, and it's streaming a library of right now it's sitting around like 400 games where you could just play any of those at any time, and it's being streamed over the internet to you. So you do have to have a decent internet connection to play it. According to this article we're going into, it says you need like a minimum 5 megabyte or 5 meg down 16 what the fuck internet connection to play it.
It just says 16 actually.
I don't know where the fuck that came
from. We don't know what it means.
16.
It just says 16. Internet connection 16. Like
Listen, my mind is just
it's all right.
mush that spouts random things. But anyways, so that has actually been announced that it's going to be coming to PC. So that's good for all of these. There's some good PlayStation exclusives that our PC players will be able to get their hands on, like the Uncharted series, The Last of Us, some solid Weeb titles. The Infamous games are good. As there is Wrath, that's a really good game. Good play. But in my experience playing this, because you're offered a free trial on PS4, and so I played it, and it is very, very reliant on a good internet connection. For the games that I played, there was if you dipped for even a second, you saw a lot of artifacting and some really bad input lag in what you were playing, and it just for $20 a month.
Yeah.
To play this, I'm thinking, why not just honestly, I recommend just going out and buying a PS3 or a PS4 to play these games, because, Uncharted or Last of Us, if you're playing those, they have remastered versions for it you could play. But if it's just going to be emulating a PS3 on the PC, I'd be interested to see like if the resolutions can be changed, if it's just going to still be PS3 technology. That would be odd. But I think right now this is only available in it's on the PC in parts of Europe, and then shortly coming to North America here pretty soon. But kind of accompanying this, there's also a DualShock 4 USB wireless adapter finally announced, which instead of using just a generic Bluetooth dongle, which I didn't have any luck getting that to work. That was a nightmare. Hopefully this will work just about as easy as the Xbox One USB wireless adapter, which works perfectly. It's going to come out $25, same price. That I'm definitely going to pick my hands on or pick that up. It's got I love the DualShock 4. It's an excellent controller.
It's a great controller. Yeah, it is really solid. And I've really I bought a PS4 earlier this year, and I don't know, my eyes just totally glaze over when I hear fucking streaming games over the internet. I don't know. Nothing about that appeals to me. Even if it's smooth. I don't know what it is. Maybe I don't know. But it's just I don't give a shit about any of that. You said, I mean, I understand if you don't have the money to go buy a PS4 or whatever else, but
that's the thing.
Or
is
a PS3,
$20 a month means you do have the money. Because $20 a month, you could probably find a lightly used PS3 at this point with some selection of games on eBay or Craigslist.
Yeah,
for what, $100 or $200?
Pretty cheap. Oh yeah, sure.
So I agree with KD. I think the pricing feels like it's a non-starter for a lot of people.
It's too much.
I could maybe see if you had I don't know, a month off of work, or maybe during summer vacation if you go to school or something. Maybe if you just have a ton of time to play in a single month, then you pay $20 for 1 month. Play through a bunch of different games and then cancel it. But I just can't see that being a subscription that makes sense in a in a world where Netflix is $10 a month.
Yeah, exactly. And like on paper, it sounds good. Oh, yo, man, $20 a month for 400 games. But in reality, you're going to be playing one of these games at a time that you can pick up used for like, 10, $15, maybe cheaper for a lot of these.
Like a Netflix subscription is like 10 something bucks nowadays.
That's the thing is like I think the whole library of over 400 games thing, it sounds cool, but it's like and Netflix and Amazon Prime and all these like these movies and video services have like millions of things. But you know what? Most of that is stuff you'll never want to play.
Exactly.
Or like never want to watch, right?
Or is
like
on
my
PC,
Steam library.
a better version. Yeah.
And I think the other thing too is you were saying that the experience with the streaming piece wasn't that great. I mean, as someone who very frequently sees people complaining about lag, on Twitch and YouTube and other things, like think about that, right? Like think about watching a live broadcast, except that you also now have input going into the broadcast. So like you are that much more sensitive to delay, and like basically you're at the mercy of your internet provider still. You're like at the mercy of your upload and download being really, really responsive all the time. And maybe, I don't know, maybe that would work on PS3 games where you're like, I don't know, if it's a story-based game or something, maybe it's not as bad. But I still don't think that the streaming technology stuff is to the point where you're going to want to play that over buying a PS3 and hooking it up with an HDMI cord.
Yeah, one thing I can see this for is just going by the recommended specs. This is recommended. This isn't minimum. This is recommended. A 3.5 i3, 2 gigs of RAM, nothing about any graphics card for it, 300 megabytes of space. If you're rocking a good internet connection and you have a laptop that's not really that powerful, this is I could see it for kind of like a low budget, if for that audience with a laptop that's not really a gaming powerhouse that doesn't have a PS3, you could maybe see it there.
Well,
but other than that,
like it does work well for that, because you're pretty much, it's like you're playing you're controlling a YouTube video or a Twitch stream.
Exactly.
Like
it's not using hardware.
It's basically like you're using a web browser and watching a video that you're controlling, and that's cool. That it works, but also I just don't. I mean, we've probably talked about this before with other streaming services, but like who is in that camp? Like who needs to play on like an old laptop that is going to be on a nice wired internet connection, right? You're not going to play from a hotel. You're not going to play on a hotel Wi-Fi.
What was that? I remember a couple of years ago, they were at every show. I think they're a failed business at this point, but they were all about that was going to the future. The street, basically. What was it? On Live. Thank you. I couldn't. I'm trying to Google
cloud
it.
Gaming.
Do they still exist? I'm going to the website right now.
I haven't. Yeah.
After 5 years, I just went to their website. After 5 years of uninterrupted service, wow, that's quite a claim. The OnLive game service comes to an end, and basically, interesting. Sony acquired parts of OnLive, so actually makes some sense here. They're probably using that tech right for.
Yeah, well, they did purchase Gaikai, the company, and obviously that's what PS Now is built on.
Right.
But I think they still suffer the same problem that OnLive always had, which was, if I recall correctly, OnLive was a subscription service you had to pay for.
It was.
And you had to purchase the games too. So it was like it clearly didn't make any sense. So this is maybe a little better in that you're just purchasing access to everything. But I mean, $20 a month is it's very pricey, I think, for older games. You could maybe get me on board if that $20 a month included some newer stuff or like some PS4 stuff. Like that might be more interesting. But I don't see who is really going to use this.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm with both of you. I won't be using. I mean, I have a PS4, and like you said, this is, I guess, answering the backwards compatibility kind of thing, right? A little bit, trying to.
Yeah, that was, I guess,
because that was the other shock I got. I was like, you're telling me the PS4 is like, I just assumed all my PS3 games and shit. I was like, oh yeah, I got a PS4, and then everyone's like, oh no, by the way, none of it will work, and I was like, what?
No.
Like, what the Things are getting more expensive, and we are getting less every fucking console cycle, man. I'm telling you. I don't know.
Speaking of things getting more expensive,
yes,
not really PC related, but just a nod to all you Sony ponies, I guess is the proper term.
Hold on, did you just make that up, or is that a real thing?
That's a thing I've definitely heard from a YouTuber.
Sony ponies.
But yeah, Sony ponies. But yeah, PlayStation Plus on September 22nd is going to be upping its price by another $10 a month. It'll be going from $50 annual to $60 annual. So go for that while you can if you plan on getting a subscription. So hop on that before that price jumps up.
Or just fucking convert to PC Master Race, you know?
You could do that.
Or you could just do both.
And then pay $20 a month for your PS Now subscription.
That's right. On top of it. Yeah. Exactly.
The best route has been laid out for you.
Yeah.
All right, KD, tell us about Dark Souls 3 DLC.
All right, Dark Souls 3 DLC came out. All right, I'll be quick. So, the day before this was announced, got kind of worried because
this was the announcement of the announcement thing, right? This was.
Oh yeah, the announcement was actually an announcement that not anything now. They announced DLC for Dark Souls 3, Ashes of Ariandel, which that name means nothing to me. Going by the trailer for the DLC, it looks like what you'd expect from some From Software DLC, a new area, a new boss. But there's been a lot of speculation about it, so this will be purely for the Souls fan out there, so you guys can tune out. But it looks like it might be going back to some connection to the Painted World. It looks like going into a snowy place. Some concept art for one of the characters shown in the DLC was their file name was Painter, so that might be connected to Arianas somehow. One of the monsters looked like a really, going by the concept art. Oh my god. Sorry. A GIF was dropped into the dock by an individual. But it looked like one of the crow enemies from the Painted World in the first game in some kind of bizarre form. But we'll see. Always a good time the DLC comes out from Software. Doesn't really disappoint, barring Dark Souls 2 DLC. But yeah. That's going to come out on October 26th, I think was the date. So a while off. New map, new bosses, and also a new PvP style arena for some kind of dedicated PvP action instead of, just picking a place to both go into. But yeah, that'll be the first of 2 DLC packs coming for the Season Pass. But yeah.
Are you excited for it? Is my question.
Oh, I'm always pumped for Dark Souls. Keeping in mind they said that this was going to be that the Soul series was over after this. Like they're moving on to other IPs, other projects,
bigger and better things.
Hey, I'm all for canceling the Soul series because it was for a bit it was a yearly.
It was fucking garbage.
It was Call of Duty for a bit.
Hutch.
Yeah.
I am gonna beat the fuck out of you. Listen.
Oh man.
But yeah. Watch out.
Well, let's actually talk about a good game or a good content tool. Not even a game. Halo 5 Forge, which I'm kidding. I'm sure. Actually, from the little I played of Dark Souls, I actually enjoyed it, but I don't know, Katie. Maybe sometime.
It's not Halo 5
You can't
Forge.
say that.
I need you to fly me. I need you to.
For the little I've played Dark Souls, it was great. Like,
well,
yeah, it was so good. I played 15 minutes of it, and then
played it for
dropped to never play again.
I played it for like 2 hours. Okay, so check the VOD. But I need to fly you out here, and you can sit next to me and guide me through, because that's basically
I
what
would.
That
sounds like a wet dream of mine. Sit next to you in the same room as you.
Dude, same room, and then just being like, all right, do this, this.
And you could put a shroud over me while I jerk off.
Yeah, and then you would sometimes I'd be holding the controller, and you would gingerly touch my hand and be like, oh no, push the stick up here to do this. And I'd be like,
you want to open this chest?
Imagine he would be pushing the stick up. That's true.
You would definitely be pushing the stick. But yeah, so Halo 5 Forge, it was revealed that it'll be coming to PC. And Brad, you put this in. Go ahead and tell me why I put LOL XD when this PC specs for Halo 5 Forge came out.
Well, because they advertise 4K at 60 FPS with a 980 Ti.
Yes.
What? Okay. Like, I can't get that shit in Minecraft. So I don't know. This is amazing that they're advertising 4K and 60 FPS. But I think the best thing about this is the specs. Okay, a i7 980 Ti.
Yeah.
The OS is Windows 10
Thank
Anniversary
you.
Edition.
That's
That's
what
do this
really
on another game recently.
I
feel
Yeah,
like
and they reverted it.
did they? Wasn't it like Gears of War or something?
No, it was Quantum Break.
Was it? Okay.
Right.
So, Forge is coming to PC and Halo 5 isn't?
we don't. Yeah, we had covered this a while ago. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense.
It
Like,
makes
you're
no
like, what?
sense.
So I'm assuming that they're gonna bring Halo 5 to PC. Like, you would think, but yeah, I don't know what this is about. We're not 100% sure. I was just triggered, even beyond the fact that it's the Windows 10's Anniversary Edition, and I know that they do this to try to get me to upgrade. But it's like, I'm not fucking playing your shitty Halo 5 Forge. I'm sticking to I'm not upgrading to Windows 10. Okay, so fuck off. It's not happening.
I think actually my favorite part of this is the RAM recommendation.
I know. I
minimum
was
is-
just looking at that.
Yeah.
Minimum is 8 gigs. Recommended is 12 gigs. Ultra 16 gigs. So somehow, when you upgrade 4 more gigs of RAM, that is going to be the linchpin for your 4K at 60 FPS experience.
Wow. Yeah.
Just even the graphics card choices. Like, I understand, the 900 series is pretty normal. I mean, pretty recent. So the recommended was 970. Ultra is 980 Ti. But then the minimum out of all cards is the 650 Ti. Like,
Jeez.
Yeah.
what?
See,
It's like
that's
somebody
what-
went to
that's what I'm
PC
saying.
part picker, and it's like, man, what can I? Oh, this looks okay. I'll just throw this in there. Like, they didn't even bother looking up the AMD equivalent. They just literally just wrote AMD equivalent in
Well, this
here.
is going back to what Brandon's saying too about
I'm
like. how
so
there's no
glad that we
standards for
talked
this
about
shit.
this briefly earlier, because this illustrates perfectly why it is a complete mess, and like I would not want to. I would want to get the actual experience on my hardware. Do you actually think that a Core i5 on a 650 Ti is going to be even remotely a decent experience for Halo 5 Forge? Almost certainly not.
Well, do you have 16 gigs of RAM?
That's I don't know, man. If I have 32 gigs of RAM, but an i5 with a 650 Ti, what does that experience look like?
That's reaching minimum requirements.
So I would
I
say
think-
it's a
I think-
minimum ultra experience.
Yeah.
Actually,
And
more
crispy
than ultra. It's double what they recommend for ultra. Man.
Oh man. Yes, I agree with SG Host 9. People will download more RAM for Halo Forge. I agree. I think that's what's going to have to happen, dude. More RAM, and definitely I won't be touching it because I don't have Windows 10. So I'm going to be missing out. Bummer,
I
dude.
can't wait to make maps in this game that I can't play.
Yeah. That's the other. It's so fucking. I mean, they have to be. It's like I feel like they have to be releasing Halo 5 at some point. Like, this has to be the precursor. But
They
haven't announced
If it's
it.
not, it's just going to be hilarious that they're putting this amount of work into like a tiny little piece of Halo 5 on PC. I mean, think about the amount of work it took to create this image. Like, this is a pretty nice image of the system requirements. It's got a nice background, got like good table formatting and stuff. Like, someone spent time on this.
yeah,
someone was hired to make
Graphic.
this.
I mean,
they're probably dead inside after having to like create this image and put all like the Windows 10 branding and stuff. They probably don't feel good about themselves, but they did put some work into it.
yeah, you're right.
So, I mean, like, this person, whoever made this, they could have done something else if they didn't have this Halo 5 Forge stuff on PC. Like, either put Halo 5 on PC or stop messing around.
Yeah,
Just do
like,
the console thing.
Yeah. I mean,
let me give the Microsoft their direction with the Xbox with the Xbone. Give up. stop. It's fucking garbage.
That's a hot take.
Okay, I don't give a shit. I don't give a shit about like PlayStation has fucking Xbox beat on fucking quality games on the actual platform, actual console. Like I don't know. I just I'm so sick of hearing about the fucking Xbox. Like anyway,
people
so
ask me like which console's better.
It's not even close.
I just say like, oh well, it comes down to which games you like more. And in the back of my mind, I'm thinking, what? Like
what do they have? Halo, honestly, the Halo. People that like
Halo, Sunset Overdrive looks kind of cool.
That was
Halo
never a
is
selling
really-
factor.
Yeah, I mean they tried to make it one. But
It's Forza is the
okay.
that's the only other one I've heard, but that's it.
I get better internet speed on Xbox One, so I play a lot of Black Ops 3. God, I hate people that still think that. That
Anyway.
triggers me.
We'll continue this on our console podcast, which happens to actually directly after this. We usually go for 5 or 6 hours on that, talking about our console preferences.
We just don't
Half of
broadcast,
it's about
we just don't
Dark Souls
broadcast
3.
or record it.
Yeah, it's just for us.
Yeah,
It's for
right.
us. to work.
Yeah, there is a good 2-hour section of that where I just go in on Dark Souls lore, so stay tuned for that.
I forgot about Gears as well. People love Gears. That's I should say. Yeah, that's a good point.
Oh
So,
yeah, that's right.
I don't know. All right. So our final quick hit story, and this is just interesting because we're constantly talking about I would say war between AMD and NVIDIA, but it's not so much a war as it's been a fucking bloodbath with
Slaughter. Yeah.
and NVIDIA just destroying AMD and the GPU market for multiple years. But there is a glimmer of hope on the horizon, perhaps. AMD's GPU market share has increased for the first time in 4 years, which is, a good thing. And we talk about
That's almost
competition and all kinds of that and that kind of stuff, but that's some good news for AMD because I don't think we really, most of the time when we're talking about AMD, it's usually like, oh God, like what did they either do or not do now, or look at NVIDIA put a card out that is competitively priced and shits on AMD. So what are your thoughts, Brad, about this?
I was about to say this deserves a golf clap. I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
holy shit, AMD, you did it. And
right.
And in relation to this, their stock has been going up like crazy. I don't know how long it's gonna be staying like this, but yeah, all the AMD neckbeards that are fucking just been in their basements dwelling and saying AMD will be back. They can finally fucking claim that for the first time in 4 years that it's finally happening.
Yeah. So, I mean, what Brandon, you have any thoughts about? I mean, I know that we're giving them praise, but we're also shitting on them at the same time. But that's how it works. But
it's a good thing.
Yeah.
Like
competition is good. It drives innovation.
I think we need AMD to compete.
We need the competition. Absolutely.
Yeah, and so I don't think we want to see the numbers continue going in NVIDIA's favor. Like we want AMD to keep them honest, and so it's good to see them tick up a bit. I mean, there was a time where NVIDIA and AMD were neck and neck for a long time. So I think NVIDIA has been doing really well in recent years, but it is good to see AMD's market share increase a little bit, and obviously NVIDIA's dipped a little bit. That's like at some point you have to start that trend in order to keep going in that direction. So it could be the start of a trend. It might just be a blip. Who knows? But seeing their share price go up, seeing the market share increase, those are all good signals. And I think we should be happy because that allows them to, like, as those numbers go up, that allows them to invest in making a better product. Like it's hard for them to compete with NVIDIA when NVIDIA is dominating so heavily. So good to see.
Yep. Some good news in that department. All right, I think that's going to do it for the quick hits. KD, take us away to the world of new releases.
Gladly. Here we go. New releases. So first up, Fallout 4 is getting its final DLC. Is this the final DLC for Fallout 4? I'm not sure. I don't know if any of you keep up with it. I certainly don't.
I just hear Fallout 4 and my head hits my desk because I'm asleep.
Gotcha. But yeah, Nuka World is going to be coming out on August 30th. It'll be $20, unless you have the season pass. which it'll either be 50 or if you bought it before they randomly price hiked the season pass. I'm not sure. But yeah, Nuka World, new content, always good if you're into Fallout 4. That comes out August 30th. After that, this indie game called The Final Station comes out on August 30th also. It's received some more awards, you know, let me see, Indie Game Cup 2015 Grand Prize, just going by the Steam page. Some solid good things from Kotaku, GameSpot, and Rock Paper Shotgun on its Steam page. It's going by the description here. Travel by train through a dying world, look after your passengers, keep your train operational, and make sure you survive. Looks like kind of a survival game here with some good 2D sprite work. But yeah, that's going to be $14.99 if you pick it up in the next. If you pre-order it, you get a 20% off. So only $11.99. But yeah, that comes out on the 30th. Look out for that. Next up, we've got a solid weeb section here. September 1st, One Piece Burning Blood is going to be coming out for $49.99. The newest One Piece action game, which the series I haven't really gotten into that much. I mean, I watched it when I was a kid, but yeah, I hear these action games are actually, or these One Piece games are actually pretty good. They make a lot of them. Not the first one on Steam, but yeah, if you're into that, look out for that on September 1st. Next up, something I am very into, Attack on Titan Wings of Freedom is, actually, it's actually already out.
It's out,
Steam.
yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, never mind. I guess oh wait, I think it was on console. It comes out the 30th. Oh well, I'm still going to talk about it. Yeah. So go buy that now, I guess. I was kind of worried about this one, but going by Steam reviews, it's sitting at a very positive now. So yeah, I was a big fan of the anime. Still reading the manga now. It's got a good story. Hopefully game. What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
Sorry.
Limited time offer. If you pick it up now, you get the summer festival costume and the maid costume for Aaron. So hop on that while you can.
In the cart.
I'm sorry.
As we speak.
But yeah, that's already out, and console comes out on August 30th. Next is God Eater 1 and 2, which was it was a PSP game that was only in Japan for a bit. That actually came in. I actually got my hands on like the Japanese import for here.
But why are these all weeb games?
Yeah, a lot of weeb
Listen,
games.
They came out. There's an audience. We're going to talk about it because we have just an incredible amount of viewers with an incredible amount of tastes. So
we have a lot of weebs in
AJ.
here.
AJ likes gaming.
Crazy Cookies is in here too.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Yeah, please.
Well, he loves hentai to be specific, but yeah, also anime.
Sorry. Anyways, continue on, Kitty Zen. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I was just triggered.
Okay. But yeah, God Eater also has like an anime about it. It's about these just fighting monsters attacking. The only thing I remember about this is I was watching it with friends, and this guy was being rolled out on a stretcher after fighting some of them, and we all just started shouting, "They eat dick! They eat dick!" Jesus. Okay.
The reason God Eater is capitalized. I'm looking at this page, and I want to at least try and take this game seriously. But when it's capitalized all over the place, it's very difficult for me to take it seriously. Because the description, I'll just read a little segment here, starts out, swear your oath as a God Eater. Like, that's the way that I read it, because it's in all caps.
Hey, man, it wants you to let you know it's serious. It's punchy. Oddly enough, the second game is on Steam, but the first game actually doesn't have a listing on the store. You get the first game for free when you buy the second game, so you're really buying the bundle, and the bundle is really the only option you have. I mean, it's not a pre-order thing. You just straight up get the first game included. The pre-order is only for like some costumes, so
if I can be double the God Eater for the same price, like why wouldn't I?
Exactly. You can eat twice as many gods
in all caps
for one price.
So many
gods.
I want to eat the first and second god for the same price.
Yeah, but that's actually it's a co-op game, so grab some friends, eat some gods, eat some dick.
Nice.
But yeah. August 30th. And then finally, a game that I would really overlook, but this has actually been in development hell for a while now. Announced back in like 2011, going through some cancellations and going back into production. Finally being released on September 1st is a game called Earthlock Festival of Magic, which looks like a pretty interesting, stylish kind of RPG. But yeah, just I'm digging the aesthetic of this game.
It looks cool. There's no price, huh, on here?
No. Typical with a lot of these pre-release games on Steam is that they don't really give an option. I noticed that with a lot of indie games.
Is this based off an anime too, Katie's in, or?
No, I think I don't think this is in any relation to. Oh, that was a joke. Okay. No, this is not.
I was actually wondering too for a second when I was scrolling through the screenshots, but it doesn't look. If anything, it's based on Cory in the House. Oh, well, that's an anime. So, shit.
Yeah, so I guess somehow. But yeah, that comes out on September 1st. Hopefully that's good. Would be nice to see that hard work pay off after 5 years of development. But yeah, that's gonna do it for the new releases. Thank you for having me.
Let's go always end it like, thank you. Thank you, Katie. Thank you for that.
Yeah. I'm humbled. Anyways.
That was very weeb-centric, but hey, sometimes there's a lot of good weeb games coming out. So
I know what the people want.
Absolutely. All right, we're going to jump into viewer questions here, and our first one comes from Jeffrey Yu, who asks, is mankind divided simply just a subtle metaphor for our current civilization? I thought that was a pretty deep question.
I did notice on your stream you picked up a magazine that said Og Lives Matter. Og Lives Matter,
yes. Yeah.
That was odd.
They're very on point with that's the one thing. They're always on point with the memes in those games, or not necessarily even just memes. That's not a meme, but like they definitely tie in
relevant
things and current happenings. There are a lot of meme magazines and stuff in that game though too, and books. There's Doggy Holly. There's like so it's like Buddy Holly, but it's dogs everywhere with the Doge meme face, and they're pretty well aware. But I mean, I'm sure it is. I mean, definitely. I mean, it talks a lot of the themes and the stuff from what I've seen in the plot so far. Definitely talk about. I mean, there's talks about the terrorist attacks, and Augs basically being used as terrorists in the game are a big part of the storyline. So, I think so. I mean, I think it's a relevant title. I think people can definitely relate to it. I don't even know. I would argue that's not at all a subtle metaphor, though. I think that's maybe the. I think it's just a metaphor. I think it's not even trying to hide itself.
I see it as like a representation of like how we could end up being, like that society and environment. So it's like two ways. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Idiocracy.
Yeah.
But, yeah. It's either that way or just like a super teched out
advanced civilization that
so
trust each other.
Either we all get really fucking stupid or we become augmented and smart and
exactly.
America, yeah.
I mean, it is really interesting though. Like, obviously, play the game yourself, but I mean, there are a lot of really interesting themes and thinking about the future and stuff. Like, you know, because there's this huge, because basically, like, Augs are basically looked at as second-class citizens because of there was anyway. I don't want to spoil the end of the first game or whatever if you haven't played it, but in the world that you started in Mankind Divided, like, if you're an Aug, you're definitely looked at as either like a terrorist potential or just like lower than like a low class citizen kind of thing. And I mean, I know this is like, you know, futuristic and all that shit, but we're definitely gonna. I'm not saying it'll look exactly like the world of Deus Ex, but we're not far off from that kind of stuff, you know, happening. Like obviously melding with machine and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
Does that ever?
It's kind of interesting to think about the racial divide, so to speak.
Yeah.
Of a future where, you know, it's not necessarily race, but something like an augmentation where it's like something that we can't really relate to directly because that doesn't exist in our world yet, but it's a highly plausible scenario for a future where people could be discriminated against, you know, because of something like that. I think it's
exactly.
I think you're right that it's not. I don't think it's very subtle. I think it's intended to be a metaphor for a civilization that we could end up in as technology progresses.
Yep. Absolutely. So, not a subtle metaphor, just kind of pretty, like you said, Brandon, pretty blatant kind of take on what the future could be.
It does. I haven't played the game, but it from what I can tell, it does seem like a thoughtful metaphor.
Did you play Human Revolution? I'm just curious.
I played through a lot of it. I did not end up finishing it, and so I would probably need to go back and play it if I wanted to kind of get the full.
You could, or you could
experience.
watch the 12-minute. No joke. This is one thing I forgot to mention. There is a 12-minute what you missed or get caught up cinematic.
Okay.
I have never seen a longer, more like it's actually. It almost was like after as I was watching, I was like my eyes were glazing over by minute 8. I'm like, oh my god, like it's so long, but it gets you caught up on everything. So you might not have to do that if you just want to get this game at some point.
I meant to ask you, does it feel like a game where you need to have played Human Revolution to kind of get the full experience of Mankind Divided?
I don't think so. I think it helps, but I think you could come into this game and just enjoy it for what it is, having not played the first one, because it's got it's got its own unique story. There's a lot of callbacks and stuff, obviously, to that game, but no, I think you could just play this and enjoy it for what it is.
Cool.
So, all right, Jeff, thanks for the question. Connor asks us, hello, what a highly esteemed and diverse cast we have on tonight. I am buying 2 pet fish. What should I name them?
Kane and Lynch.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
that's really good, KD.
Sonic and Knuckles. That's what I'd probably do.
Sonic and Knuckles.
Those are hedgehogs.
They could be fish. Kane and Lynch are humans.
If you name your fish Sonic and Knuckles, then now they're fish. I agree that Hedgehog is clearly like the more topical Sonic and Knuckles name.
Well, normally you would do it if like, okay, I'm going to name my pet Sonic because it's fast. No, it's a fucking fish. It's not very fast. So, no.
I mean, look, we're just brainstorming here, okay?
Okay,
don't throw it out immediately. The question really is Sonic and Knuckles versus Sonic and Tails, because you have to kind of. I think you would have to pick.
They're all dumb. That was no.
Hold on. Okay, I want to. Okay, listen. So Kane and Lynch, 2 sweaty men for fish, just
from a very questionable video game franchise. Yeah.
But you go to Sonic and Knuckles, a well-known duo, a game with that title, and that sets off alarms. They don't have to be fast. Like if I wanted to name them Kane and Lynch, it's not like the fish have to be like packing heat. Like they're just a well-known duo. I've never been more insulted.
More insulted. This is actually relevant because we had a fish named Henry who recently passed. Rest in peace, Henry, and had to be flushed down the toilet. But my girlfriend immediately needed to fill the void and decided to go get another fish. And we were battling on what to name him. And as we got him out, he's actually really like he's got really big flowy fins, and he's kind of like a macho kind of looking fish, but really colorful. And when she came out, she was like, her first thought just by looking at him, she just said, I don't know, like something like Chief Big Fin. And instantly, it clicked with me. And I was like, that's it. It's Chief Big Fin. It's like, it's a great name. He looked like, if you look at him, you're just like, that's Chief Big Fin. Like, it just fits him perfectly. But she was struggling with that name for a while. But she was like, no. She's like, what if people think it's like racist or whatever? I was like, what? I was like, racist? There's nothing racist about it. He looks like Chief Big Fin. And then we got into this whole discussion about how she's like, well, and then I was like, look at like the Redskins are still a franchise. Not saying that it's not offensive, but I was like, she got into this whole thing that like somehow naming a fish Chief Big Fin was like seemed racist or something. And I was like, no, I think the SJWs are getting to us. I was like, we can name our fish Chief Big Fin. He looks exactly like it. But so I battled with her about this name. So she went to work that day and told her coworkers about like our name dispute because she didn't want to name it that. And I was like, I'm calling him Chief Big Fin. That's what he is. It just sticks. Have you ever had that where like you just hear something and you know automatically it sticks? And then by the way, she told her coworkers the name, and then they were like, oh yeah, Chief Big Fin's great. That's fantastic because they saw pictures of him.
That's a great name.
Isn't it good? Isn't that a good name?
That's a good
Oh, it's
unique
fantastic.
name.
Yeah.
It's not a baby. It's like a fish.
Exactly.
Like,
exactly.
It's
Yeah.
Now, do you
It's
refer
really
to him by
concerning.
the full name each time, or do you already
I
have
do.
like,
That's
a
also
nickname?
It's
no.
fun to
I
say.
like every time I see him, I'm like, oh, it's Chief Bigfin, and it's crazy because he's like actually like super like he's pretty aggressive. Like he puts his if you like try to put your finger up to the tank, like he actually is like aggressive and will put out his like he'll try to attack you. Like I mean, I'm telling you, man, it's a
that's
perfect
awesome.
name. But
yeah, with a fish like that, it's like a. I mean, it's like subjectively an animal of like less significance than like a dog or something. Like my dog's name is Chelsea. It's like normal. I could name my dog, Chief Big Nose or something like that. But when
mean, you
something like
could.
a
You
yeah,
could.
but I
That's
mean, it
actually
just
a
wouldn't
pretty
work
unique
as well.
name for a dog. As dumb as it
Chief Big
sounds,
Nose.
that's
That's true.
sort of funny in a ironic way when someone asks you what your dog's name is.
Yeah, Chief Big Nose. Yeah, CBN. Chief. That's good.
there's just
Yeah,
something
but,
funny, like the humor in like Chief Bigfin is I don't know, like it's fun to say the full name out. It sticks to him because if you actually look at him, I don't know. I just there's something about
Oh
him.
yeah,
It's got a
the
huge
name
fin.
is
It's like
the name is fun to say.
But it's
That's
funny,
why it
like when you
works.
actually think about it's I guess getting into the idea of names is just like why I don't know why certain things just will fit or be funny. So like yeah, I know that'd be tough to name two fish. I mean, Kane and Lynch right away. Katie, I really like that. But again, I haven't seen the fish. Part of it also would
we
be
need to
like,
know
what do the
more
fish look-
about the fish. Like,
Yeah.
what do they look like? What colors are they? Because, like, I think if you happen to have an orange fish and a red fish, then the clear answer is toe jam and roll, like 100%.
Ooh, that's good.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I like
That
that too.
that probably doesn't work unless the colors match up. There has to be a theme to it. I don't know.
You're right.
Mm.
Well,
We
okay,
need
well
to-
maybe if you could send us a picture next week or something, maybe we can
Yes.
continue to help. We need the info.
I
You know what I'd name
name them Hillary and Trump, and then just drive yourself crazy and everyone around you.
No, and then flush them down the garbage disposal and turn it.
Oh, that's messed up now.
Sorry, what were you gonna say,
Yeah.
Brad?
I'd name him Sonic Knuckles.
Oh my god! God
All
damn
right.
it.
Okay.
I think Brad literally just exists on this cast this week to troll Kate to make Katie mad, and I think it's working.
Yeah, this has become more and more apparent that that's what his purpose is.
Are we not
it's-
doing this final question, by the way? Is that why it's because I was really
Oh,
looking,
we're doing this. Come on.
I was looking forward to this.
We need to give this attention.
We do. We absolutely do.
It's
So
an
our
important
last question. Yeah, this is going to be very like the fact that we're doing this is probably not smart, but we can't resist a good food question. This is from Mogul the Captain, and he asks us, are French fries and onion rings considered a condiment when added onto a burger?
No, it's
Why?
a topping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, the answer is just absolutely fucking not. It's a top. I agree with you, Brad.
I think.
like,
Yeah.
Is a tomato a condiment? Is an onion a condiment? No, it's a topping.
Now, if you were to put these into a blender with some creme fraiche or whatever the fuck else, and then go about it that way, if it's in the form of like a more traditional condiment, then I could argue, okay, yeah, the French fries and onion ring paste that you're
Yeah.
putting on the top of your bun, that becomes more. It could be a condiment, I guess.
I think
but
it could
not
be a
in there,
condiment,
just more-
but it would be unrecognizable from what you're thinking of as French fries and onion rings if you turned it into a condiment. It would have to be like a
Exactly.
paste of
It would
some
be- yeah.
sort.
You would have to change the nature of it. Yeah, it couldn't be. In the normal form, like Brad said, it's just a topping.
Yeah.
Mogul, I want another food question because I'm honestly disappointed in this one. Like next week, there better be a damn good food question because I already knew this one didn't make me think. Like,
Yeah. This one, I think for the most, I don't think
Like-
there's anybody is anybody arguing that those are condiments?
no,
I don't think
but
so.
I see
You put
there
a
was
French fry on the top and bottom of a hot dog. Is it a sandwich?
God damn it, Katie! Don't even go down this road.
I
'cause
think that like when I was first reading this question, I thought it could potentially be something slightly more difficult, like if you include French fries and onion rings on a burger, is it still an entree or is that now a side dish? Like, are you turning a burger into a side dish if you put French fries and onion rings on it? And I mean, probably not.
no.
But at what point does your burger become the side dish?
Yeah. Man, no one talk. No one talk for a second. I want the person who submitted this question to feel bad about themselves, though, just for a second, because this one is painfully obvious. But next week, if you want to try again, Mogul, with something a little bit harder, because I think we're all. The thing is, you have to get the cast to all disagree with each other, and I think we're all in agree. You know what I mean? Like even if the audience, we don't give a fuck if the audience doesn't agree with us, but if we're all in agreement, then it's just not divisive enough. So find something that was. I'm just trying to think of something that will trigger me. I mean, a lot of things trigger me, but yeah, try to come back next week. Katie, I can't believe you said if you put French.
Mogul, I will give you this though. I was about to instinctively shout yes to this because I didn't know the difference between a condiment and a topping.
Oh god!
Because I just thought it served the same.
Katie Zen
purpose,
eats
really.
nothing but fast food, so he doesn't know how to assemble anything. So
Listen,
when it
I
comes
eat
down
fast
to it,
food. I eat yakisoba ramen noodle meals every day. That's my diet. I don't know anything about food. So thank you for teaching me that, Mogul.
Oh, that's good.
You've accomplished something with this.
At least one of us learned something.
Yeah, there's a takeaway from this.
I'm not gonna lie. The fact that this question even got here, Brad had already. I'm just gonna share a little dirt. Brad had already crossed this question out and used explicitives such as "fucking" to describe how frustrated he was that this was even a question. So you're definitely gonna have to try harder for Brad because he was very triggered by this. But
tough crowd tonight. Not impressed.
Tough. Not impressed. But it's all right. It's all right. Well, it's just because I think the standards for food questions on this cast are we've had entire hour conversations about the hot dog is you know what I mean? Like
that's true.
I feel like the threshold's pretty high anymore.
I think it definitely is higher on this cast than I think other podcasts.
Yeah.
Because I think we're past the amateur food questions.
Exactly. Yeah, we're food professionals at this point. But anyway, Mogul, try. I don't want this to discourage you. Try again next week. I think you can probably come up with a nice spicy food question. So, all right, and this is very exciting right here because we are into the iTunes podcast review of the week, and over the past few weeks we haven't had anything here, but this week last week we really pushed it, and the people responded. Brandon.
Yeah. They really definitely did. We had some people that have been holding out. Clearly.
Yes. And I'm really there's some goddamn good reviews, but real quick, how can people review the cast if they would be so inclined?
Yeah, so we obviously we'd love to see this kind of activity every week because we got quite a few reviews this week. All you have to do to be featured on this segment of the podcast is go to iTunes, which is where one of the places we host the audio version of this cast. Go to iTunes, log in, go to our podcast, and leave us a review. And in order to be featured, there's very little in terms of actual requirements. The first thing you have to do is give us the rating we deserve, which is what, Scott?
That would be 5 stars.
It's 5 stars.
5.
Yeah, we deserve 5 stars. I think. If you don't think we deserve 5 stars, then put 5 stars there, and then tell us in the review why we don't deserve 5 stars. That's completely valid. So if you rate us 5 stars and leave us a review, you may get featured on this section of the cast. So we have a few this week. So I'm gonna let Scott pick if he wants to read all of them. I think some of them are high quality here.
Yeah.
But we may not be able to read every one of them.
Yes. I think we can do all of these. I think this should be because I don't think have we ever read 3 reviews in one podcast? I know we've done 2.
I don't think so. We did push hard last week, so I feel like we definitely should be generous.
Yeah, let's read 3 reviews this week. I think we can absolutely do this. So, our first one is by Perp Skirp, and the title again, of course, 5 stars. The title is hands down best podcast. So really good start. Loving what Perp's putting out here. And this is the content of the review. This sad excuse for a podcast, gets derailed weekly by hot dogs, comparing dicks to PC hardware, and trips to flea markets. It's no wonder so many members have come and gone. But then, right when you think he's just destroying us, he says 10 out of 10. So
Now hold on. 10 out of 10, and then he trails off.
Yeah, but then he trails off.
Dot, 4
Yes,
dots.
there's
That's longer than a normal ellipsis.
Yeah,
So he's trailing off. He says 10 out of 10.
Dot.
Trailing off.
So So is that trail off good or is it bad?
I don't know.
Because I'm not
That's
sure.
an emotional
In
roller
my-
coaster there.
I don't
in my
really know what to
experience,
say.
When people end comments with a ... it usually means they're lying or they're unsure of themselves.
Yeah.
That's been my experience. So he did give us a 5 out of 5, but I think we should take that with a grain of salt.
I mean, yeah, I don't know how to feel. Obviously he left the 5-star rating, but the title, he says hands down the best podcast.
Yeah.
So
It's a red herring.
I don't know, but then he all goes on to complain a bit, but again, I mean, that's totally his right. But he is following. It's great that Brandon pointed out the system, because this is how it should be done. You rate the 5 stars, you leave your title, but then you put in the content of the review, you can say whatever you want.
Yeah. I mean, if we
exercising
take away the last part, it's really just a scathing review. I'm guessing
Yes.
I have to assume, based on the kind of the content and the tone with which I feel like he's taking, I have to assume he doesn't like weekly hot dog derailment.
No.
I have like trips to flea markets. I mean, that's an occasional thing, but I guess that seems to have upset him.
Doesn't like that.
Like, I get it. It's valid. There are topics that we have definitely covered on this cast that he clearly is not a fan of.
He definitely doesn't like us comparing our members to PC hardware. So
yeah,
I mean, that he doesn't like that either.
So that,
but
that is valid criticism. So I appreciate Perp Skirp letting us know how he feels
Absolutely.
about the podcast. But I think he did temper the review with hands down best podcast to kind of butter us up. I think just so the fall would hurt that much more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Sick bastard.
Well, Perp, thank you for your review. Our next one comes. God damn it.
This is great.
This next review is by none other than Harambe Hodes. And it is 5 stars. And the title is Great Podcast. So another good start. Man, so many members of the Hodes family. You never know where it's going to stop.
That's got to be a fairly new member. There's no way that that has to be a name change or something. Like, did one of them legally change their name to Harambe?
I don't know.
What are the chances that a member of the Hodes family was named Harambe before this whole situation went down?
I feel like very slight, but I feel
surfaced.
like we know them to be a very, very vast network connected family with people in all different ranges of life. So I feel like it wouldn't be that hard. They probably have somebody in government that can push through a nice little name change for somebody, as a joke if they want. But
maybe he's like in witness protection or something, and so this is not like that's just the name he chose.
My guess is we all know the Hodes family, a very talented group of individuals. This was a child born shortly after Harambe's incident and was named, in honor of the beast. Yes. And this child with that name has just accelerated growth so much where he's already speaking fluent English.
Oh, I like that.
If that's true, the content of this review actually kind of makes sense.
Yeah. So again, Harambe Hodes, Great Podcast is his title, of course, 5 stars, and this is what he has to say. This podcast is great after a long day of dragging kids around.
Well, there it is. Harambe has been incarnated into this member of the Hodes family.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I can't say I've ever myself engaged in any of those activities, but I mean, take it from Harambe Hodes. If that's your thing, this podcast can be a nice little accoutrement to dragging a child around.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. I mean,
I don't know what else to say.
It's hard to really know in what context they mean dragging kids around. Like maybe they're kind of upset, that like they have to be in school with people who are clearly mentally inferior. Like if this child was just born but they're already at a high enough level to be reading and writing, it probably feels like they're dragging the rest of them, dragging the rest of the kids with them. Right?
That's
it's kind of just metaphorical. Like they feel like every day they go and slog in that preschool, they're just dragging the rest of the kids around.
This goes so deep. Wow, I didn't realize. Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. So Harambe Hodes, thank you so much for your review. And finally,
At least they do already have the motor skills to recognize how many stars was the right number of stars. That's really the important part.
Following the instructions. So our last review here, and this is historic because we are reading 3 reviews this week. And again, I want you to encourage you again, like leave a review. Okay, we really enjoy seeing what the people have to say about this fantastic podcast. This is by Irwin Nation, and the title of this review is "Wieners Out for Harambe." So, keeping with a certain theme, and the content of this review is pretty interesting, and maybe a riddle or a prediction about what will happen in the cast. I'm not sure, but I will read it now. Katie Zen is a Nigerian prince, and Brad will laminate Brandon with a mildly late lamination device.
Huh. Okay. So,
does anybody think this is a riddle, or what exactly does any of that mean?
This might be one of those codes that people spend, years and years trying to decipher that are just impossible. That they offer like $1 million if you can figure it out. Katie Zen is a Nigerian prince.
So,
I mean, there's no riddle about that. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
And then Brad will laminate Brandon with a mildly late lamination device. Brad,
is that like a euphemism for murder? Like, is that a term the kids use? Maybe like I'm gonna laminate you.
I'm gonna laminate your ass, dude.
Wow. Okay. Well, now it sounds
damn. That's hurtful.
Yeah. Now I can see the tone of voice with which that sounds like a real threat.
I'm gonna laminate your ass, dude. Wow. I'm wondering if it goes to the fact that, like, is he saying that Katie Zen is full of false promises, like a Nigerian prince, and then Brad laminating Brandon with a mildly late lamination device could speak to maybe Brad, maybe verbally laminating. I guess maybe I'm thinking no. I don't know. You know what? Maybe we should do exactly what you're talking about, Katie Zen, and offer if somebody can clearly figure out exactly what Irwin Nation is saying, we give them $1 million. I mean, I think we have the funding to be able to do that.
Yeah, I mean, I do get a little bit worried sometimes when we read reviews, and it's tough to tell if the review is like some sort of fortune telling, or like it's like one of those things where they're gonna say something's gonna come true on a certain date or whatever, and then we have to kind of worry in the back of our minds, like, is this a serious thing? Like it maybe is a joke, but we can't be too sure. And this is one of those where it's like kind of foreboding. I guess the upside here is that he's talking about something that Brad is going to do to me, and so it's not like we don't have to worry about random people. I just kind of have to. I guess I have to worry about Brad over time, like turning into this laminator.
Well, see, the thing is, remember, I mean, I think last week was the week that we learned about Brad's anyway.
Wait, what?
You don't remember where we talked a little bit? We talked about violence and stuff in regards to Brad. Okay, he doesn't even remember. I think this could be directly related because, some things were said about Brad. So I think he's maybe just onto Brad and Brad's way of life is all I got to say. And maybe knows more. Maybe this is somebody that is close with Brad and knows of a plan forthcoming, Brandon, towards you. Yeah. So I would just say, like you said, I would be careful. Okay? I would be careful. I mean, lamination device doesn't sound good. And you heard the way Brad said, I'm going to laminate your ass. So.
Like, it makes me wonder if there's a second definition for the word laminate.
There is, but I'm not going to read it.
I'm going to look it up right now. Laminate.
I went to Urban Dictionary, and it's fucking horrible.
Oh, no.
Oh, no.
When used in reference to a picture, typically of a person that one finds attractive, the act of ejaculating on the picture to create a film or laminate over the top of the surface.
Makes so much more sense.
All right. Well, that explains it.
We cracked the riddle.
That's that.
All right.
Wow. All right. Well,
I'll take the $1 million now.
Oh, geez. All right. Well, I don't think there's any better way to end episode 248 than that Urban Dictionary definition. Thanks for being with us. It was a fun one, as always. We will be back next week with episode 249. Brandon, you will not be here, correct?
I will not be here. I'll be at PAX West. So if any of you are visiting PAX, then I don't know, come say hi.
Yep, come say hi. Get a picture with Barn Door.
Yeah,
and
print out a KBMOD mask for yourself before coming by the booth.
Make sure it's not laminated by the time you get there.
Oh my
God. Your own time. Oh no. Sorry I said that. And obviously check out kbmod.com for reviews. I know Tim is going to be getting up a review of Mankind Divided soon, so definitely check that out. But there's always content going up on the website. You can follow KBMod Gaming on Twitter at KBMod Gaming. Brad is at Hutchison15. KDZen is at KDZen18. I am at APL Fisher, and Volition is at VOL1TION. At one. And yeah, it's been a good time, and some of us will at least see you here next week. And have a good rest of the night. Farewell.
APL and Mr. Sark. APL, I've noticed you're getting slimmer. I want your skinny thighs framing my face as you said and poo on my chest.
Oh boy, yeah, you should have visited on Valentine's because that was, APL's ass turned into Mount Krakatoa courtesy of some shitty chicken.
Oh man, thank you, sir. One time when